Here we are, the final, the final stream of spring. Now you understand why I'm most choked there. Weird sentence to start with. It felt like summer for a little while already, so yeah, I kinda make sense. Oh, I still feel really tired. I've been sleeping a little bit more, but I still have a lot of sleep to catch up to, I guess. However, I will mention that related to last stream, I mentioned my very strange luck. Whenever something a special day comes around, everything just goes to hell. Well, look at that. No more power outages. There's only been a couple of days, so who knows? Water's back, pretty good, and even the shower's running better than before. How do we manage to do this? See what I mean? Surrounded by always very strange happenings. It's not a meme, okay? It's not a meme. It's my strange life. Which I guess could be a fictional story if we try hard enough. Is it wrong of me to complain about the back already? I think it's gonna happen a lot today. Well, it's probably fine. For some reason my nose has been a little bit stuffy today. I don't know why. Maybe it's because more heat is coming, which is never good. But hey, what did you expect? Here we are, after all. Uh, do you want to mention something about YouTube? I think I did. It will probably be the same as usual. So if I don't, it's fine. We don't need to complain about all of these websites every single day. People know. It's just trash. Trash all around me. Pretty bad stuff. Man, oh man. Okay, alright. What is not as strange? Well, it is strange, but what is not fictional, I suppose? Some of the stories we have for today, some of them pretty serious this past week. Current events really wild, but we're gonna start soft a little bit. With some stuff we mentioned already this past couple of days, which I don't think is somewhat relevant. How about we get some music running, by the way? Eventually, that'd be a good idea potentially. That would be good. That would be nice. I bet. So we have a summer nostalgic Pokemon music to start your day, which it probably makes sense. I don't submit mine yet. Yet. It could happen. It should happen soon. I promise. But the film article we have for today is actually kind of funny. Because of course it is. Let me bring it up. It's not the thing. It's that thing. Okay. We've been talking about this past week about this insane people on the internet saying, "Oh, but you can just be a fan of these video games without ever playing them." And they just start complaining when you try to give them solutions so they can actually play the games. Oh, but this, but that. It's clear to me they don't want to play those games. They're trying to find excuses not to play them. Because as we all know, we mentioned this before, playing video games nowadays is all so extremely easy. Between emulation and selling the 7 Cs, for most games there's literally no excuse. But the heavy computers, but what if you get hacked by emulating? I've seen some of those, hilarious. No, it's not gonna happen. So of course we have here Resident Evil creator Shinji Mikami says, if watching a playthrough is enough, the game wasn't good enough. And that is actually correct. Because of course, it's a video game. And the main part of a video game it's the gameplay. If the gameplay is not important, you didn't make a video game. You made mixtape. Or you made a mistake. Both are correct. Japanese comedian streamer Eiko Kano recently talked about what happened when he asked Shinji Mikami if he was okay with his Resident Evil playthroughs. Okay, alright. There's cannot decide what they're going here, right? It's not that you cannot enjoy gameplay. Of course you can. But that doesn't mean your only experience with the game, if you're gonna call yourself a fan, is gameplay from other people. Watching gameplay can be really fun, especially if you see people doing strange stuff, deranged stuff, or making their own unique experience, perhaps. There are many ways of explaining it, I guess. And if you're watching a game you know nothing about, and you see something and you like it, logic dictates, hey, maybe I should try this game. And we're talking about Resident Evil. The first 3 games are on PS1, okay? It's fine. Those things, very easy to emulate. Extremely easy to emulate. Come on now. Oh, but I don't have a high-end computer. It's fine, you have a phone. Those work too nowadays. Japanese comedian and YouTuber Eiko Kano, famous for his spectacularly chaotic playthroughs of the Resident Evil series. See what I mean? Spectacularly chaotic playthroughs. Something unique, it's fine. Recently talked about an exchange he had with Shinji Mikami, director of the original RE and RE4, on the topic of playthrough videos and gaming streams. As reported by Nikon, on June 18th, Khan appeared on a TV program dedicated to sharing badass anecdotes from his life. And the moment he looked back on it says exceptionally cool was his encounter with Mikami. Game streams can be a sensitive topic among game developers, particularly in Japan, for quite different reasons, by the way. It's usually about my copyright, which doesn't make any sense. With this new age of quote-unquote gamers, maybe have to give it to them, actually. With opinions divided on whether they're simply a beneficial form of free marketing, or conversely, lead to loss of opportunity as people consume games through viewing and then not buying them. That's the good point that he's making. But these people are deranged. Let us be honest, okay? Let's be honest for a second. If these people didn't buy the games, if these people didn't play the games, do you really think they would, even if they didn't watch the playthroughs, the gameplay on the internet? No. No. That's not how it works. I'm sorry to tell you this. That's not how it works. They will never buy these games. And I guess this is kind of funny to some extent, because I do think there's an overlap. It's not even an overlap. I do think it's just the same exact people. They're always complaining about video games. Ah, but these games have to change. Ah, but these games, they're not diverse enough, or they have to appeal to me. But they never play or they never buy the games. But they were never going to buy the games anyway. Which is, I have to say this, questionable at best. Why would you talk about all of these things if you are not actually somebody that partakes in the hobby? Well, they are deeply broken people and they want control. That's gonna be my answer for this one. Make of that what you will. In the circumstances, Kano had been concerned about his own streaming activities at the time. Although he had explicit permission from Capcom, which is kind of a thing in Japan. The fact that he was essentially spoiling the stories and passes of Resident Evil titles made him anxious about whether the creators behind the felt comfortable with it. When he later got an opportunity to meet Mikami in person, he decided to ask him directly about his stance. Although Kano was fully prepared to stop streaming, he got a negative answer. Okay, a bit weird, but sure, I guess. Mikami reportedly responded, if he was watch a playthrough of a game all the way to the end, satisfied with just that, it was only that good of a game. Not wrong. Not wrong. He went on displaying. Our never streaming games that leave people wanted to clear them with their own hands, even if they watched someone else do it. So keep streaming. This is just Mikami considers developers fully responsible for how exposure through playthroughs will affect their games. Incidentally, Ken noticed that he has received almost the exact same response from Dragon Quest creator Yuji Horii on the matter, although it doesn't seem to be reflected in Square Enix's streaming guidelines for the series so much. I mean, to be fair, especially in this case, you cannot just equate Yuji Horii and Dragon Quest to Square Enix. I know you can't do it, I know you can't, but no. No. No, you cannot. We have seen Yuji Horii talk about all of these things, about how they keep on having to change stuff because, the mandates. I don't think Yuji Horii agrees with those. But then, that still happens within the company. How curious. Yeah. Because the company is really annoying, and you could even say, evil. Interestingly, Square Enix's Naoki Hamaguchi, who's directing the Final Fantasy VII Remake trilogy, expressed a similar sentiment not long ago, commenting that with playthroughs becoming increasingly popular nowadays, RPGs need to evolve in a way that makes viewers itch to play them themselves, rather than just consume the story. That's kinda backwards. Gotta be honest, that's kinda backwards. Not entirely wrong, I would say, but the logic is actually kinda backwards, no matter what you do. How so? I understand that for RPGs, the story is an important part. Sure, that is actually correct. But it's not the only part. The RPGs are not just the story. The RPGs use game mechanics to tell you a compelling story. Or there's a mix of game mechanics and the story to create a unique experience. The story by itself doesn't matter. Well, it can be good, okay? It can be a good story. I think that Final Fantasy VI had a pretty good story, for example. But it's never just the story. It's just part of the game. We could even agree, for the case of RPGs, yes, actually an important part. I think that is actually correct. I think that is actually fair. But for example, since I mentioned Final Fantasy VI, it's more than the story itself. If you only care about Final Fantasy VI because of the story, you're making a big mistake. And it has a good story. I will give you that, it has a good story. But have you seen the game mechanics? Beautiful. Fantastic game to play. Because the game is fun. This shouldn't be a hot take. This shouldn't need to be explained. But we are surrounded by insane lunatics that keep doing this, and they keep falling for this, and they keep pushing this insane agenda. Oh, but what about the story? I'm being gatekept of the story because of the gameplay. I'm gonna be honest. The story is usually just an excuse to have the gameplay. If we take something that may be story heavy or plot heavy, like I would say most JRPGs. In this case, I'm gonna say Tales of Symphonia. It's an example I think I use many times. Do you think you could have that game just by itself, without the main plot? Yeah, you could be running around, quote-unquote open world with those different locations, fighting enemies and defeating bosses. But it wouldn't be as compelling without the plot behind it and the characters communicating with each other. That's an obvious thing to say, but it is still true. All of this, I shouldn't have to say it. All of this should be extremely obvious. And it is extremely obvious. But it's never enough. Once again, oh, but this Idrisil guy is actually really powerful. Yeah, of course the guy is powerful, how do you know? Not because the story tells me so, but because I fought the guy myself, and it was a difficult fight. It's plainly obvious. But then again, These people are not gamers. These people are not fans. These people are some of the worst individuals you can face in this hobby. They hold nothing but contempt for the hobby itself. There's this very strange combination of smarmy artsy people, video games, yeah, a lesser art form, and these extremely, not even casual fans, these extreme posers, that they just want to experience the stories. Well, you can't just experience the story, can you? You have to go through the game. And it is hilarious to me. It is me, the one that has to say, finishing these games, actually not that deep, actually not that difficult. Because games are designed to be beaten. And sure, we can ignore completely for this argument, games that are designed to be difficult, for example, Souls games, they're not impossible. It's a different gameplay loop than what you're used to. But most games, finishing them, not that deep, not that difficult. You just need to get the game mechanics and use the game mechanics to defeat other game mechanics. It's not that deep. And sure, I struggle a little bit in the mid game of Dragon Quest 6. But you can just level up, for example. That's something reasonable for this. And if we're talking about Resident Evil, sure, they have a story. The plot is actually really light. It's usually we need an excuse for you to fight all of these monsters. And it's fine, I'm not saying it's wrong or anything like that. But let's not act as if these were the epitome of storytelling. They're not. And I'm actually okay with that. I've seen some narrative related to this recently, with the announcement of the Ocarina of Time remake. But the plot of Ocarina of Time. What plot of Ocarina of Time? It's very light in plot, it's very light in story. You have some cool moments, but it's usually just run around, finishing the dungeons, and that's it. Sure, in the beginning it's just, okay, we need to help the princess maybe and collect these things to go to the church. Oh, it's Ganondorf? Cool. Then you go to the church. Ganondorf, quote unquote, wins. You go into the future. Oh, everything's desolate. You have this guy called Sheik, which is actually eventually just Princess Zelda with a disguise. But you still need to go around just grabbing the dungeon items and the final rewards. It's fine. It's fine. You don't need extremely convoluted plots or lore in most games. If anything, I would say those are usually a detriment. I'm not a Kingdom Hearts fan. I think that's a well-established fact by this point. But it is in series with extremely convoluted lore, mainly because everything is canon, so you have to play all of the spin-offs. You cannot just have the spin-offs. Everything has to count. So it's just convoluted. I'm not saying it's impossible to follow, but it becomes annoying. And this had to be this way. I guess speaking of story-based games, let's talk about this. Young of Dragon, Yakuza games. I'm sure it could be just some sort of thriller movie or thriller TV show, and that actually would work well. Though I still think the full experience, the game mechanics, the side quests and whatnot, can only be done within a video game. Very zany, but very fun. Sadly, several Negotiation Studio development members confirmed to have left the studio and moved to the other companies like Capcom, Lightspeed Japan. At least 7 Negotiation Studio employees, including devs and lead positions, have left as of the end of May 2026, including Nagoshi himself. We knew that they were having money trouble for this game, but I do believe it's dead in the water, which is a big shame. It was looking pretty interesting. Well, not everybody can just make Dragon Studios and the studios work. Not much you can do about it, I'm afraid. It's a shame because I was actually kind of curious about this. I was not really vibing a lot necessarily with the gang stuff. I thought it was maybe too close to the GTA games. But still, I was still curious. There's been nothing but uncertainty regarding the status of Toshihiro Noguchi's Noguchi Studio during the past year. And most recently, it's been confirmed that several development members, including employees occupying lead roles, have left the company. This comes as the reports about NetEase Games pulling the studio's funding, followed by the company's official website going offline, and substance being listed as permanently closed to Google. Yeah, gonna be honest, it's pretty much that, right? There's no other way of looking at this. I wonder if we'll see something come out as from Gang of the Dragon, but not looking great. It's not looking great. Maybe they were too ambitious. Shame. Not long ago, the studio's co-founder and game director Daisuke Sato updated his biography on X to X Nagoshi Studio. That sounds funny when we say it that way. The first X, of course, Twitter. And directly confirming his departure. Additionally, Nagoshi himself appeared in Ifamitsu feature as saying an affiliated game creator raising concern. Not only that, but according to GameSpark, which investigated the LinkedIn profiles of known Nagoshi Studio staff members, there are at least 7 other people who are confirmed to have left the company as of May 31st, 2026. Kazuki Hosokawa, who headed the studio's design department, exclusively announced that he had resigned from Nagoshi Studio, commenting that he had spent the past 4.5 years surrounded by talent and had a fulfilling time at the studio. I don't think they actually released anything, which... yeah, it's a long time to have a studio with no releases, and the game was maybe too ambitious. Wonder what's gonna happen with Nagoshi from now on. On the other hand, others simply change their affiliations or employment statuses. This includes lead environment designer and design department deputy head Naoki Someya, who's now affiliated with Lightspeed Japan instead, as well as technical artist Tomoharu Hosaka, who has moved to Capcom. Another ex-Nagoshi Studio developers joined Master Strike developer Mixi as of June. Is it really called Mixi? Is it really that Mixi? We need to look that up. Including third cinematic artist Hiroya... 3D cinematic artist Hiroya Wakui and lead character artist Saisu Nagai. Additionally, VFX artist Shuichi Takahashi and character artist Toshihiro Ando. I don't name new affiliations, but refer to Nagoshi Studios, their former employer. Despite these big changes, there has yet to be any official statement regarding the status of Gang of Dragon. The studio's an ambitious adult drama starring Ma Dong-sok. Probably butchered that, the guy's Korean. This guy. Okay, this big guy here. Now, the company's future. Still, it's encouraging to see that some staff members have successfully moved on and found work at other companies. I wonder if they can actually finish the game if they secure enough funding. It's not looking great. Sadly, it's not looking great. I mean, these things can happen. I mean, it's been happening for, what, several years. Many studios just collapsing upon themselves, despite having mild success in some cases. Okay, let's see. Let's see. That's a YouTuber. That's not what I'm looking for. It's not, right? No, that's a different Mixie. No, it's actually the same Mixie. Fun enough. Mixie single-line Japanese social networking service. It opened in 1999 and is owned by Mixie Inc. Kabushiki Gaisha Mixi. As of September 2012, Mixi had about 40 million monthly active users, with about 86 million of those on smartphones. We scroll down a little bit. Mixi Inc. also published the mobile streaming game Monster Strike, the family photo sharing and family album, and various other communication services. You might be wondering now, okay, what do you know about Mixi? It's enough thing to know about. Well, it's not because of Monster Strike. It's because of a kind of an old meme song by Maximum the Hormone. You might know them because they made some music for Death Note. They have a very strange song. called Kill the Mixie. I don't want a Mixie. So, yeah, it's the same people. That's a little bit odd, but I guess it makes sense. Fun stuff. Fun stuff. Well, I do have the best for Nagoshi because I do enjoy the Yakuza games. And the newer games, I don't think they're the same, man. They keep changing stuff. They keep releasing a lot of stuff really fast, which a lot of people are engaged. Okay, is it reaching critical mass here or what's going on? I haven't played the newer games, so I actually cannot say if they're good or not. But going from pretty obviously an action game, you could even say action RPG, sure, because you have some similar progression to levels with the playable characters. To just turn-based RPG, anything will change. It is all to be fair. But still, speaking of other game companies that are doing not so well, Life is Strange creator Don Nod warned it will run out of funds this year. Expected to run out of cash during November 2026. Well, well, well. In this case, I don't really care. Life is Strange, that thing is not for me. French developer. French developer Don Nod will run out of cash this November unless a new funding source is found. Yeah, tell that to Ubisoft. As according to a financial report by auditors for the firm published this month, which highlighted the dire straits the studio now finds itself in. Headquartered in Paris, with a satellite studio in Montreal, it's always the same. It's always the same and it's never good for these people. Headquartered in Paris, satellite studio in Montreal. That didn't help Ubisoft. Do you think it's gonna work for you? Yeah, good luck. Don Nod is best known for creating the narrative adventure game series Life is Strange. The more recent entries have been made elsewhere. Yeah, it's not looking good for you. In spiritual successor, Lost Records, Bloom and Rage, finally emerged in February 2025, but underperformed. Gonna be honest, I don't think the Life is Strange only garnered some success because extremely gay. And you know that some people are just identitarian in nature and they will just buy it because identity. Which is a little bit disappointing, but there's nothing we can do about those types either. The company has been searching for a hit in recent years amid a string of releases that have failed to set Tales ranking, including Harmony, The Fall of Reverie, Josan, Banshees, Gods of New Eden, and this year's sci-fi action adventure, Ephelion. I think I heard of Ephelion, I think I heard of some of these other games, but they are considered to be indie and obscure as far as I understand them, so no wonder. If you don't advertise those, what do you think is gonna happen? Now, the Ned has been warned he has 5 months of capital remaining. His further investment is located imminently. The company is part owned by Tencent, because of course it is. Though auditors have revealed that the Chinese conglomerate is no longer interested in providing further short-term funds. Which makes sense. If they are pumping money and you're not giving them anything back, yeah, what did you expect? Jeremy has informed us that he has been seeking additional financing for several months. There are avenues are being explored to improve the company's cash position, whether through capital increase or still financing for your game currently in development. Auditors wrote. Hold up. Company management informed us that, according to its cash flow forecasts, without additional financing and taking into account, among other things, revenue assumptions related to the marketing of a new game at the end of April 2026, Ephelion, and cost savings that have not yet materialized, the company is expected to run out of cash during November 2026. It makes sense. Can we check SteamDB Ephelion? That's not price history, but sure. Whew! 10 people in game. That's not looking good, man. 299 reviews. Okay, current price, let's see, US dollars. 24.49, which is the lowest we've ever been at 15% off. Cool. Normally it's just 39.99, which kind of makes sense. I'm looking at images here, doesn't look great. Let's say charts. All-time peak 2 months ago. 219. Players right now. 10. 24-hour peak. 11. This was a flop. This was a massive flop. Let me open the store here for a second. Mixed reviews. Not great. Seems to be about space exploration, but I don't really see anything interesting here, I'm not gonna lie. Hunted on a frozen planet, Astronautarian must brave broad landscapes and shifting realities to rescue her wounded partner, Thomas. This action-packed sci-fi adventure blends exploration, traversal, and dense stealth gameplay. Of course, the main character is a black woman. I'm buying Film Deluxe, $39.99. How about now? What about the specs? Probably thicker than they should be. What about the reviews? Man, that is short. Let's see. I like them now, the space sci-fi and working simulators. That being said, I'm not sure what the point of this game was. There are mechanics and no reviews narrative, just leave the boring game. Rough. Very rough. So it's one of the situations of we made the game and people ask, okay, but why? As records, blue and red screenshots. Ah, yeah, that looks. See, all of these games look really modern, if you know what I mean. Your chairman has informed us that, following his requests, your main shareholder, Tencent, doesn't wish to subscribe to capital increase in the short term, or contribute to the financing of games currently in development through co-production agreements. Look, pick of 219 for Tencent, yeah, that's a waste. Gotta be honest, they had to be ruthless, and it's fine if they do. Finally, your chairman indicated that discussions have been underway with some major players in the video game industry for several months, and these discussions have not resulted in any structured financing offers. I mean, yeah, that makes sense, given the quote-unquote success of your last game. In the situation, we have determined that the formation facts are likely to jeopardize the continued operation of your company. Solutions currently being explored include funding from another major partner, Legendary Studios, and announcing this game sooner, earlier in 2027 than planned. We're assigning staff to work for hire subcontracting work or external projects. As yet, however, no solution has been found. It is currently a bleak time for the video game industry, with widespread layoffs and likely studio closures currently under discussion in the route of studios owned by Microsoft. It is not random, okay? It's not random. The students keep making games, but the games don't sell. People don't want to see the games. People don't want to buy the games. So you're making a mistake somewhere. Very obviously so. If the games don't sell, if people don't want to play the games, you made a bad game. It doesn't matter that you think, oh, but we made the best thing ever. Like what happened with, what was the name of the game? Highguard? It doesn't matter. Because at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is what gamers think and what gamers do. What did they do? Not play your game, not buy your game. Therefore, you are wrong. Very wrong in this case. Shouldn't be surprised enough. They keep... I don't know about this studio, but it's very common to see studios in general trying to just shame gamers. It was not made for you, okay? Yeah? See what happens. Whoops! Not even the 100 top players. Ooh! That bad. That bad. Not even the 100 peak player count. Hilarious. Hilarious. They should stop antagonizing gamers, and they should try to give them what they want for once. Oh, brother, this guy knows. Monster to dry up. I still inside mess layoffs. Where's your modern audience? Didn't buy games and never did. The only spin announced on social media 24/7, and it doesn't might offend some. The harsh reality truth of the matter, which is correct. Pretty much the same kind of people that we talked about. I'm a fan of this game. How do you find this box? I don't know, never played it. Literally the same people. That is the modding audience, when you think about it. A new type of modding audience. Not great. Not great. you need to gatekeep, and I've seen gatekeeping, pretty harsh gatekeeping in general, this past week and a half with these insane individuals on social media. Yeah, that is good. That is good. That's what you should do, for sure. What else do we have here? Oh, yeah, this is kind of funny. Speaking of games still, Japanese citizens can now get free Final Fantasy XIV items by paying their taxes. People paying their taxes in Japan will be eligible for free Final Fantasy XIV cosmetics under the country's Furusato system. In Japan, you pay your taxes and you get the stuff for your video games. In the West, you pay your taxes and you get infinite immigrants. Cool vibrations. Not cool at all. Tokyo Shibuya World has begun offering free in-game items to Japanese Final Fantasy XIV players as a reward for their tax contributions, source Famitsu. These probably cosmetic items, which can also be purchased with real money, are part of Square Enix's effort to deepen its ties with the local player base. The collaboration is part of Japan's Furusato hometown contribution system, which allows you to donate a portion of your income tax to a specific city, such as your hometown or a place with personal significance, instead of paying it all to the central government. In return, your Justice will send you gifts. This must include local specialty goods like fresh produce, rice, or Wagyu beef. Hey, Wagyu beef is pretty cool. But recently, there have been some unconventional options like NFTs, and digital awards appearing too. Last year, Shibuya World collaborated with Japanese mobile games, Monster Strike and Kotodaman. Monster Strike again! How curious. They're providing in-game currency to taxpayers as a possible reward to opt for. This year, they're teaming up with Square Enix to give 5 vials of Fantasia, and that allows you to change your character's appearance, race, and gender. The Collier attire skirt and the Collier attire slacks custom sets, Divine Tech attire, 4 dance emotes, and a Mega Shiba mount, a reference to Shibuya Station's own Hachiko statue. Classic. The players for free, based on the listed prices in the Final Fantasy XIV online store. The reward package has an estimated value of at least 88 USD. Pretty impressive. As Square Enix headquarters in Shibuya, it is having efforts there. Such the company says it will continue to undertake various initiatives while capitalizing on Shibuya's unique characteristics. That's not too bad. Meanwhile in America, taxes go to public answers for Jewish interests. I mean, yeah. Yeah, pretty much. I don't think most people are fine with that. But what can you do? Not a whole lot, I'm afraid. Not a whole lot. Oh, brother. I wish my taxes were this useful. I'm gonna be real. We also have from, not Japan, but China in this case. The giant Pokemon Lilligant plush installed as a child and cost 370, which I wouldn't say is that insanely expensive. The life-size Lilligant plush is being released, giving Pokemon fans the chance to add the cute grass type to the collection. As to be a dumb but the big Musume plushes that have been going viral, the Pokemon Company has added yet another cute creature to the growing colossal plushie collection. They say the Pokemon Company, but they also say fans in China. So I think that's a little bit strange. As part of Pokemon's 30th anniversary, fans in China will be able to celebrate in style by getting their hands on their very own life-size Lilligant. This masterpiece of merch will be available to purchase from official online Pokemon stores in China when pre-orders go live in June 19th, which is already up, I guess. However, trends will need to clear some space for the humanoid creature as it is in the large size. According to the official images shared online, the plush stands at 120 centimeters, 3 feet 11 inches tall, making the same height as Hisuian Lilligant and slightly taller than the standard version of the Pokemon. In other words, this thing is big. Can we see this image? Yeah, it's not a small plushie. That's why I think the price is probably somewhat fair. So, you certainly need to ensure you have a dedicated space for the standard-sized Pokemon to sit, as you could be finding yourself sitting or sleeping on the floor. So not just the sheer size of the Gallic creature, but it's eye-catching either. It also comes with a hefty price tag. Yes, Lilligant lovers will need to cough up $2,499. That's not Yang. I think they use the same symbol. That should be Yuan. There's no way. 2,500 Yang is the same as $370. The Yen has never been that powerful. Which is around $370 if they wish to bring the grass type home. If it was actually Yang, it would be about, what, $20? Yeah, I just wish that was the case. Sadly, the life-size Little Gun Pass doesn't have an international release date yet. You may need to splurge even further to complete your giant plushie Pokédex. Although the snare release is only big, you can still work with the gigantic Agnes Tachyon plush that may headlines early this year. This massive piece of merch costs 1,859 USD and was as much as a small dog. And there's the Ghost in the Shell life-size figure of Motoko Kusanagi, which will set your bank over 7,000 USD. Yeah, that's a lot of money. That's way too much. But it looks kinda nice. I wonder what's gonna happen with this. I do remember when they released the Incredible plushie, just the Japanese people put in their World Wars with nice attires. I wonder if that's gonna happen with this one. Probably not, because of the shape being a little bit difficult. They don't do anything strange with this, okay? Hey, welcome, Nero for you. We're getting caught up with current events today, because it's Saturday. They have here the Demon Musume plushie. I haven't seen this. January 30th. Yeah, that's kinda big. Seems like a Dikafumo, but I know the face is not the same. That's kinda crazy. I'm not big into the horse women, I'm gonna be honest. How you doing, sweetie pie? Sweetie pie? Absolutely not. I'm doing okay. I'm a little bit tired, but that's normal. But that's pretty much whatever we have for 4 games today, so I guess it's time to move on to tech stuff. So we have here something that looks a little bit strange, and I wouldn't expect this to have happened. I wonder if this can be fixed. Breaking! Volkswagen has banned Graphing OS users from using their app. Users are reporting they can't log in or control their car anymore. Users are confused, seeing Volkswagen allows their app to be used on end-of-life interventions, but not on fully patched Graphing OS. So, despite, as mentioned in Graphing OS before, and considering A, this seems kinda cool as an alternative to Android since they want to add very strange ID verifications for the operative system themselves. They're gonna tell you, well, you know what? We don't want to work with those. Why not? You got a great accent, thank you. I don't think it's that thick. I think it's easy to understand, which is really helpful. I do slur sometimes. They had the message here. Hello, it's Macy. Thank you for contracting Volkswagen Digital Services. Please note that the use of the Volkswagen app is only supported in iOS devices and not the devices with supported operating systems versions, which is kinda funny because, of course, Graphing OS is in some sort of offshoot of Android. On devices on which alternative operating systems, so-called custom ROMs, that is Graphing OS, Lineage OS, or similar solutions are installed, limitations or lack of functionality of the Volkswagen app may occur, which that shouldn't be the case. I do believe most of these apps, because most of smartphone development nowadays just pretty much just web. Oh, but it's an app. It's not an app. It's literally a web view. So sometimes as you get into smartphone development, just get into web. It's usually better. It shouldn't happen because it's just a web view. So this is once again very strange. These systems are not part of the supported application environment of Volkswagen EG for the Volkswagen app, which is why we unfortunately cannot offer technical support in such cases. I understand that, they don't support it, but it shouldn't be a compatibility problem. I wonder if there's some sort of caveat with Graphing OS. I don't know how it works internally. I only know about it. I don't actually use it anyway. Of course, we'll be happy to assist you with any questions regarding the use of our official applications and services. If you have any further questions, yada yada yada, contact the usual stuff. I think that's rather odd, but it makes sense. They have been trying to crack down Graphing OS for quite some time, this shouldn't be really surprising. I wonder if they can either change graphing lens further, so the functionality is closer to Android as in the endpoints, or if the app in this case, it could be a little bit difficult. But if it is a custom OS, it's more than possible. If it gets something along the lines of, how do we call this? A version detector or an operating system detector, you might need to give quote-unquote fake information. You might need to fake the response for these cases and tell them, ah, yeah, for sure, this is just Android, man, you don't need to worry, it's normal Android. Because there's a possibility that they're trying to validate your current OS. I don't think it's the case. It would be way too complicated for something like this. But it might eventually happen. Okay, what are you using? iOS? Cool. Are you using Android? Actual Android? Cool. Are you using something else? Like now. Yeah, that's something to consider eventually. Since you're controlling completely the operating system, you should be able to change the method it's used internally. Instead of giving the actual information, you might need to give fake information for proper validation. It's kind of a schizo tech, but keep it relevant. And then with telemetry. Yeah, it will be surprising that's the reason. So you're a big company app is going to force you to use official/approved OS or web browser. Of course you're using custom OS or custom ROMs or whatever. There's also a different problem they may have. But you need to ID validate yourself, because we need to make sure you're at the very least 16 plus, so papers please. You could potentially fake it here, because they're also pushing for you to identify yourself upon quote-unquote account creation, whatever that means, which is just pure nonsense when we're talking about operating systems aside of newer Windows. You could just give whatever response you want with the OS to bypass that potentially. They're not going to like that one. They're not going to like that one. So of course they're cracking down on those. Again, Germany has companies like Data Privacy, but also let Volkswagen do this. What is Data Privacy? I have no idea. Secure email, calendar, and drive service with quantum safe encryption. Get 50% off now. Don't know anything about this company. I think that Proton is really trustworthy. The other ones, no clue. Yes, play integrity is now enforced. Thank you very much. Next I'll put the alert phone app required strong integrity Lumfao. You laugh, but it will happen eventually. Not great. I guess the stuff also kind of has to do with games. It's more tech-wise in general. It was a little bit out of order, I'm afraid. Not great news. Not great news. I don't think that everything can be bypassed, but it's becoming step by step more difficult, which is never good. We also have this thing here. Start Killing Games fails to secure EU law despite 1.3 million signatures. There's a little bit of copium going around. I haven't really looked into this. I guess it's possible it is true. That they're not gonna make new laws, they're gonna amend existing laws. It's not looking good either, I'm gonna be honest. And I'll tell you why after. The Killing Games campaign has been dealt a major setback in Europe as the European Commission declined to propose legislation requiring publishers to keep discontinued video games playable. The movement, formally submitted on the EU as the European Citizens Initiative Stop Destroying Video Games, was built around the idea that publishers should not be able to make games unplayable after ending official support, especially when those games were sold to customers as complete products. In January, the initiative was confirmed to have secured 1,294,188 verified statements of support. passing the 1 million threshold required for the European Commission to formally examine it. Further presented to the Commission in February, followed by a European Parliament hearing in April, and a plenary debate in May. The Cabinet mentions here. New legislation will not be proposed, but exchanges will be initiated with consumers and industry to improve the management of video games end of life. I don't think this is good. I cannot be honest. Oh, they mention it here. Well, I did have an additional tweet if we need more information. Important context, just before the hearing, video game lobby, including Ubisoft, organized a private meeting with the European Commission without the Stop Killing Game initiative. Jeez, man, I wonder why. I wonder why all of these lobbyists are doing, well, trying to fuck you over as usual. Never great. This is the dog music, right? For Gen 8? Yeah, this number in Weld. Hey, it's that dog. No Resident Evil 5, okay? I just like the lions. I like the cheesy lions, they're funny. In its official response on June 16th, the Commission said they cannot propose a legal obligation for current publishers to keep games playable after they stop being sold commercially. It was looking way too good for this to be the European Commission of all places. That's what I get for thinking, hey, something good may actually happen. It's Europe, of course not. Instead, the Commission said it will begin discussions by the end of 2026 with the video game industry and consumer representatives to draft an industry code of conduct for managing games at the end of their life cycle. Code of conduct. Which is probably gonna mean pretty much nothing, as usual. The Commission's full communication said the legal obligation to keep games playable, as requested by the initiative, would not be proportionate. Ah, jeez, would not be proportionate. The fuck do you mean, wouldn't be proportionate? I'm assuming the lobby was just saying the usual, but they're asking us to always keep the servers up, which is a big expenditure for us. That's not what we're saying. That was never the ask. The ask was always, I just bought the game, I wanna keep playing. Maybe single player? Maybe peer-to-peer communication? Maybe custom servers? Can we do that? No. We cannot do that either. Too evil. Too evil. I think that's more than proportionate enough. But then again, these people are absolutely insane. There are concerns about intellectual property rights, confidential business information, publisher codes, and potential cybersecurity or safety reasons games are no longer supported. This is bullshit. This is absolutely fucking bullshit, I'm gonna be honest. I know they keep using this as an excuse because, but what if we liberate software so you can hold your servers, but they copy our server binaries and other companies use them for themselves? That's already illegal. That's actually really easy to demonstrate. Okay, that's actually really easy to demonstrate. If it could happen with a very tiny company where I worked, trust me, if you're a big company, I don't know, like Blizzard, like Ubisoft, yes, it will be way easier. But then again, isn't it a really useful excuse? The content could include more transparent storefront labeling about possible game discontinuation, along with more partnerships between publishers and cultural heritage institutions to preserve games. Cultural heritage institutions? What the hell are you talking about? The same people trying to crack down on Internet Archive, archiving all video games. Yeah, I don't know about that one, man. However, it will not legally require publishers to provide offline patches, private server tools, or other methods for players to continue accessing games after official support ends, so it's fucking nothing. It's just fucking nothing! Oh, they're gonna make laws. Yeah, it's gonna be a feel good, just a slap on the wrist, and these companies will keep doing whatever the fuck they want. Nothing ever happens, I'm sick of this. The Commission also argued that the existing EU consumer law already provides some safeguards, including requirements around transparency, contract duration, termination conditions, and possible refunds if a shutdown conflicts with the agreement or consumers' reasonable expectations. But that's actually just feel-good wording. And do you guys remember... what was the name of the game? We read about it. The thing that pretty much kickstarted to stop killing games. It was not Dust. It was a similar name. Hold up. The Crew. The Crew. I know it was a short name. Remember about The Crew? How they couldn't get literally anything done because the company said, well, fuck you, we do whatever the fuck we want. Nothing changed. The cat of conduct, shut the fuck up. Useless. Absolutely fucking useless. As usual. Shouldn't be surprised, but I'm still disappointed. God damn it, I hate these people. Reuters report the decision comes as French consumer group UFC Accuser continues legal action against Ubisoft over The Crew. Hey, maybe I should have read the next line. Funny how that works. Which became permanently unplayable after the servers were shut down because it was fundamentally an online game, even if you were playing single player, which many games do nowadays, by the way. Either fully online or custom server validations. How about you shut the fuck up and stop doing that? No! What about the piracy? Yeah, piracy completely stopped thanks to that. Good job, guys. Ubisoft has argued players about limited access rather than full ownership, but the consumer group alleges players were misled over how long the game will remain available. If you only get limited access instead of full ownership, thank you very much, Ubisoft. You're justifying piracy. I guess I will never buy any of your games anyway. Well, 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 isn't that funny? On the Stop Killing Games campaign succeeded in forcing the issue into EU institutions. The Commission's response falls short of its central demand. For supporters, the outcome means publishers are not currently facing a new EU-wide legal requirement to keep purchased games playable when support ends. So I guess our hope right now is the new California law. You know, it's dire when you have to trust in California. Despite the setback, Stop Killing Games has said it's not ending its push for legislation. Response posted to the Commission's decision, the official Stop Killing Games account said the outcome was not unexpected, and said the campaign had already prepared for the result. I mean, that's great on them, I suppose. The group said it is now pushing for members of the European Parliament to amend the Stop Killing Games into the Digital Fairness Act instead. We can move on without the Commission under another decision, the group said, referencing earlier comments from Accused Farms creator Ross Scott. This is really funny because they keep mentioning the European Commission. In theory, this is just theory, is schizo theory. The European Commission, in theory, doesn't or shouldn't hold any actual power. But it does. It does hold power, and it does hold a lot of power. So, even if the European... in theory, once again, this is just pure theory. Even if the European Commission says no, it doesn't matter. Or it shouldn't matter. But then again, it's the European Commission that's actually working or functioning as the super government for the EU. Did you know that the European Union has a president? And now, I'm talking about Ursula von der Leyen, that's the president of the Commission. Very fun stuff. What's the name of the guy? It's a guy, I know. The council? Was it the council? Office holder. No, that is not correct. I think it should be the council. Yeah, a guy called Antonio Costa. There's also the parliament with Roberta Metsola. And of course the commission with von der Leyen. Very evil woman. Fucking hilarious. Fucking hilarious. Ah, that guy's Portuguese, right? Yeah, that makes sense. It's just a political disaster in general. Oh, why do they keep pushing evil stuff and nothing ever happens? Well, now you know why. It's by design. Do I like it? No, I don't. But then again, who am I to decide? Nobody, apparently. Response seconds comments made by the account on June 13th, which said the Commission's decision will not be the end and pointed to progress in both California and the European Parliament. In opposition to past legislation and the assembly without the Commission's blessing. Thank fucking goodness. Stop killing games at the time. The legislation should be going through either way. The campaign, as argued, was in a better position than ever to win. And that supporters should thank the Commission for ensuring the movement did not rest on our laurels. Yeah, I guess so. Some people are gonna doom about this, but I mean, whatever. It was going to happen probably anyway. That was the EU response's major blow to the campaign's original European Citizens Initiative, but not necessarily the end of Stop Killing Games' broader efforts. The focus now appears to be shifting away from direct Commission action and to influencing upcoming new digital consumer legislation. This is also a very sobering situation in general. Not because of the results, which we can't expect this since the beginning, I would say. I was not really hopeful about the Stop Killing Games. I'm gonna be honest, I was that guy. I hope for nothing. Well, I hope for everything, but I expect nothing, I guess. But because of how everything happened. These governments are really corrupt, and they can just be bought by lobbies, as it happens right here. By Michael from Legacy Kill HD. Totally unrelated note, 2 weeks ago, Ubisoft CEO Yves Guillemot reportedly attended a private meeting with European Commission officials in Brussels. Nothing to see here, nothing at all. People keep talking about, oh, but democracy. What fucking democracy? Where's the government of the people here? There's nowhere to be seen. This is not democracy. This is not even oligarchy. Because these people are not the best the countries have to offer. This is just Monday feudalism. And it's gonna get worse. Mention, they're gonna mend the stuff. Sure, whatever. And made it for 6 hours no less. The episode were just talking about their love of Assassin's Creed and fishing. And what about Assassin's Creed Shadows? I hear the game's really good. The companies that would be affected by the lottery input. Wow, how corrupt. Behind closed doors. Kind of important detail there, bro. Yep. Yeah. And you're thinking about lobbies, not just the companies themselves. And as we've seen, these companies keep lying, these lobbies just keep lying because it's in the best interests. Because they can keep using the worst practices for the consumer while still pocketing the money. Very disgusting stuff. Then again, it's Ubisoft and it's about to die. But it cannot die fast enough, god fucking damn it. What do we have here? Okay, alright. Let us get into more of the meat and potatoes of this. Oh, yeah, this dude is actually really good. There's nothing to find the gaming community before crashing a bit with no survivors. Fuck you, Guillemot. Say what I mean. Say what I mean when you say I hate the French. It's justified. I know some of them are cool, but they are rare and far between. I wish there were more of those. Maybe France would not be a shithole nowadays. Speaking of tech, of course, we cannot stop talking about the UK. They're going to ban the VPNs! New VPN rules for UK has also on table from July, after government update. Technology Secretary spoke out on Tuesday, June 16th, ahead of potential new VPN restrictions. This scandal has confirmed the July update is coming over new VPN rules for households in the UK. The Labour Party Technology Secretary spoke out on Tuesday, June 16th, ahead of potential new VPN restrictions. This scandal told BBC Breakfast. We'll make further statements in July about VPNs and further restrictions. Further restrictions. This reminds me of 2020. That's not good. Kansas ministers have embarked on a concerted lobbying operation to prevent the backlash from the Trump administration to the under-16 social media ban announced by Keir Starmer. But because of the Trump, we had to build a wall. We're gonna cover the UK and we'll make them pay for it. At this point, I think we justified. Sorry for the normal citizens, which there's actually a bunch of those. So, you are going to jail people for using a feature of their home router. Oh, how the bird has fallen. Are probably banned providing to under 18s or consumers sourcing VPN services to the KYC/H verification. The Great Firewall of Breathing. This is even worse than China at this point. China! China! South Ether has Ethernet over HTTPS. They should have, I think. Probably workarounds exist, I guess so. There are decentralized VPNs that are really difficult to crack down, it's my understanding. But some people have wondering. And I will tell you what they're wondering about in a second, after I blow my nose. Give me a second here, please. People have been wondering. But why is this happening? Why are they cracking down on VPNs? Well, it's very easy to understand. The first thing they did with the new OSA, I don't remember. The Online Safety Act. The first thing they did is to protect kids. Was to limit discussion and videos of anti-immigration protests in the UK. Here, once again, the excuse has been, think of the kids, the under 16s. We all know it's because a lot of information is coming out. This is by Rupert Lowe. The Rape Gang Inquiry Report. I haven't gone through this, and I'm not gonna go through this on stream. Other people have done this. It's more than good that they have. This is a very long document. It would take me, I don't know how many hours. There's a inestimable video covering this, fully written this. I think the video is almost 7 hours. Me editing and talking about stuff, it would take me about 10. So, I don't want to do this. I know I would get also extremely mad. Some of these cases are absolutely fucking insane. So, in the wake of everything that's been happening in the UK, especially within the news from the past 2 to 3 weeks, the problem is not the problem. The problem is people noticing the problem. Therefore, VPN crackdown. There's been a lot of talk about this, and we have a tweet here by Sabi. How this inspires every person to vote for the most radical possible choice to end this bullshit. Yes, I do hope so. Deportation is way too nice. We have here... Provide a comprehensive analysis of this report. Okay, sure. The Rape Gang Inquiry report details systematic... Systematic is actually correct. It's not systemic, it's systematic. Child sexual exploitation by predominantly Pakistani heritage Muslim men, targeting vulnerable white British girls. Key findings. About 150,000 victims estimated since the 50s. 87 to 95% perpetrators Muslim in analyzed cases. Human via drugs/alcohol/taxes, gun rapes, trafficking, blackmail, and racial/religious abuse. Massive institutional failures by police, councils, and services driven by political correctness and fear of racism accusations. Necessity/relation data often unrecorded. I wonder why. Links to clan honor code and Islamic theological entities that were non-Muslim cited. Harrowing survivor testimonies included. Extremely harrowing. It takes a narrowing stomach to go through this, for sure. Conclusions. National scandal and state betrayal enabled by multiculturalism. Recommendations. Military and ethnic recording in crime data. Deportation of foreign offenders. Accountability and reforms. Consistent with patterns in official inquiries like Rotherham and Telford. You're still way too nice, Grog. You're still way too nice. Of course, they have been trying to run defense in a very strange way. This video has been going around this past week by Donna Rachel, we can say the duration has been in absolute butchering here. My goodness, literal carnage. Shurani Hairu. More than 5 minutes, we don't need to go over the video. She laughs at this. Okay, she laughs at this, which is pretty interesting. County lines are phone lines, not border demarcations. You can traffic people over them. The rape gang inquiry report is junk. We have many responses to this. This from Daniel Sheng Smith. Laughing at rape gang reports because she doesn't realize county lines. I think this is a typo that says country. In this country refers to the physical demarcation between counties. Disgraceful. And we can read the full image. Currently there is no statutory definition of child criminal exploitation. Seems like a mistake. However, perpetrators may be prosecuted under the Modern Slavery Act of 2015, which sets out the offenses of slavery, servitude, and forced and compulsory labor in Section 1, and human trafficking in Section 2. So, let's get this clear here. You don't get to see the internet if you're under 16 in the UK because of my child safety. But there's not a statutory definition of child criminal exploitation. Are you fucking kidding me? But clearly this is not about censorship. Clearly not. Things can be exploited in a number of ways, including sexual exploitation, forced labor, domestic servitude, and criminal exploitation. Children may be forced to work in cannabis factories, motorize money or weapons across county lines or within their locality, launder money through their bank accounts, or carry out crimes of theft or violence, particularly against adult children. Very easy to understand, and it's also really funny because if we look up county lines, yes. County lines drug trafficking. County lines are a form of criminal exploitation where organized drug gangs expand their operations from major cities into smaller towns. But it refers to something specific, not the colloquial term. How do we know this? Because it's written with capital letters. Capital C, capital L. I would say this is a capital L too. But there's more. There's more about this. And it's not great for them. I think it's this one? Yeah. It's not in order. She describes herself as a grooming victim advocate, but 1. She's criticizing the report because they didn't want to pay her a consulting fee. 2. Her victims support organization is just a sales funnel to charge victims £5. You think you hate journalists enough, but you don't. For survivors, this is her organization. If you are harmed and want to be part of a space where others understand without explanation, Survivor membership gives you access to our online community. It's the place to connect with people who have lived through similar things at your own pace and in your own way. Survivor membership is £5. Yes, she happens to be Jewish. I wonder if that has anything to do with this. Of course, on top of that, I've seen some people, I don't think I have any tweet up for those. So you might be seeing some sort of, just trust me bro. And you can look it up. I've seen several people with the same narrative. Saying, but 250,000 victims of rape? Since the 50s? That seems like a way too high number. Very unrealistic. And people have been wondering, are you sure you want to say that? I don't know. If 250,000 victims of rape since the 50s is really unreasonable, I guess that also could cast doubt into, you know, certain events from the 30s and 40s regarding, well, a way higher number than 250,000. Maybe you people shouldn't be saying that. Maybe the Jews should shut up. Can't undermine their own narratives a little bit. I think they believe themselves to be smarter than they are. Especially pretty common problem with some people. So maybe not. Maybe don't say anything. Because that's only gonna be worse for you. See, I'm giving them advice, okay? I'm not evil, I just dislike stupid people. Also have here a couple more bits about this. Personally, this post makes my skin crawl. Then Rachel, found the survivors at Archive for Truth. An organization dedicated to archiving testimonies, supporting grooming gang victims, and pushing for justice against perpetrators and enablers. As known publicly, this means report Low's Rape Gang Inquiry Report. In the video, her critique strikes me as largely pedantic, depicting terminology like county lines, while she acts smug and laughs condescendingly. They are raping kids, as young as 6, and you're laughing. And then I'm meant to believe I had to trust you, or think you're a good person in any way, shape, or form. No, absolutely not. Ironic, but why? In my opinion, politics seems to be playing a big role. Donna was personally a Reform UK councillor, not the same as Restore. Rupert Law belongs to Restore, she's from Reform. This is Nigel Farage, not Rupert Law. They are not good either, from what I'm saying. Party has reportedly clashed with Law's Restore Britain group. To me, this looks like a positive report because a political rival released it. Which, it is kind of insane to me, but I've seen it before. If both are, in theory, on the right, and they are keen to each other, they should work together, but they're not. I'm assuming, I don't know too much about Reform UK, but from what I've seen, they seem to be just filthy globalists, unlike Restore. That's where the problem comes in. So the globalists will only allow the globalists, never stubbornists. Is that how you say it? I'm not quite sure. I'd rather engage with findings on the scale of the views and institutional failures. Even the people on the right keep importing infinite immigrants. So it's not really that surprising. To me, this looks like a positive report because of political rebel. Yeah, we just read that. Evil should be called out regardless of who exposes it. Victims deserve better than this kind of, in my opinion, Shainism. And you have the accounts there. Yesterday I woke up feeling very proud to be well performed. 77, my bad, I know my numbers. New councillors. This morning I woke up to an email from Reform Party UK head office, advising me that I have been suspended from the party pending investigation. Very funny, very curious. We have a tweet here by Showhead. This is the shit you think you're smuggling glibly, debunking by nitpicking semantics? Fucking evil freak. Still the same tweet. As you can see, the ratio has just been absolutely brutal. A massive battery, just pure carnage. Okay, the cropping is not the best. Let me bring all of this in the tabs so we can go through them. And 14. Fiona was abused by a man known as Rambo. He had entered Britain illegally in the back of a lorry. Forcibly castrated in Pakistan as punishment for child abuse, he had then fled to the Philippines, where he allegedly attacked multiple women and children with a large knife. The origin of his nickname. Rambo was locked in a room with 2 girls and subjected them to extreme sexual torture. This case illustrated that, in some instances, the sexual abuse of children was driven more by humiliation and control than by sexual gratification. More common than you might think. So castration is never enough for these insane individuals. Jane was taken to the bathroom by the girl who had brought her there, instructed to shave. She was told that she was being sold to the men for sex. She did not want to participate, but complied out of fear. She was then sexually abused by one of the men, and made to sleep in a small child's bed afterwards. The following morning, the girl who took Jane to the flat was paid by the men. This occurred repeatedly over a period of months, sometimes with multiple other girls present. Jane was told that she needed to gain weight to be more desirable to the men. In response, Jane began purging, which developed into severe eating disorder. She was blackmailed with the threat of prison by the peer if she disclosed her exploitation to anyone. Violence and intimidation became commonplace at the semi-independent living facility. On one occasion, a young woman returned to the accommodation intoxicated and distressed, saying that she had been abducted and sexually assaulted. The staff, who were aware that sexual exploitation was taking place on that site, but just to do nothing about it, responded by accusing her of making it up. Eventually, Kim disclosed her own sexual exploitation to accommodation staff, including trafficking in exchange of money. She was told that what was happening didn't constitute trafficking, and she was over the age of 16. The police were not contacted, and no action was taken. She was blackmailed by staff with the threat of being blamed for the exploitation of her and others if she took her complaints any further. She went through a 12-year ordeal after being kidnapped from the street at the age of 15. During this period, she was repeatedly drugged with Valium, beaten and raped. At one point, her abuser presented her with a certificate from the mosque and declared that they were married according to the Islamic rites. Later, he divorced her under Sharia procedure, simply stating, "I divorce you," 3 times. She was then immediately married in a ceremony conducted by an imam, the man she did not know. With the minutes of the ceremony ending, while the wedding party continued downstairs, she was raped by her new quote-unquote husband. Over the years, Sarah was subjected to 8 forced abortions, one of them 5 months into pregnancy. When she accompanied her abuser to medical appointments, he required her to wear a hijab and walk 5 feet behind him. She was compelled to learn the Quran in Arabic and permitted to speak only Urdu and Punjabi. Ah jeez, I wonder where these people come from. She was also made to cook and clean for the gang members who abused her. Sarah made several unsuccessful attempts to escape. On one occasion, after she reported her kidnapping to the police, she was interviewed by a Muslim officer who switched off the taped recorder, instructed her to drop her allegations because of lack of evidence. We learned that this officer was in prison for child sex offenses. Whistleblowers who tried to expose the truth, such as a social worker, Kevin Vines, Tammy Robinson, and countless protective parents were suspended, bankrupt, subjected to town raids, asset freezing, and gagging orders. Tammy Robinson ended up in jail, by the way. The rule of law failed, and racial and religious segregation was the most narrow applied. To the few that were convicted, foreign national offenders were rarely deported, and sentences bore no relation to the lifetime of destruction inflicted. And they're laughing. This is the report! And they're laughing at this. It is insane. It is something that actually makes you go completely insane. This is not a mistake. This is not, oh well, you see, some silly immigrants. No. We're talking about 250,000 girls, 250,000 women that have been raped in who knows how many occasions, hundreds, maybe thousands of times, and they're laughing, and they're telling you it's not real. It's very real, because if it was not real, Tammy Robinson wouldn't end up in jail back then. But it's not just the immigrants. The immigrants are, of course, to blame. But this is, as they mentioned, a systemic problem. It's not just a question of who brought the immigrants here, which I would agree might be a relevant question to ask. But why would they allow them to stay here? Here in Europe, of course. If you go to the hospital, if you go to the police, you have to hide the fact that you were raped. At least, you cannot mention they were Muslims, because oh, how did you be racist? Well, it's strange to notice that people from different cultures act in different ways. It's not. Is it racist to mention that people from different cultures refuse to change their ways and adapt to their new culture? Of course not. Islam, in score, it's a a religion about conquering. And now they have it really easy. Because they don't even need to fight. We're paying for them to come here. And fuck ourselves over. Economically wise. And security wise. You can even see the police working for these insane criminals. Something needs to change. And I'm not talking about deportations. I'm sorry, but such people should not be allowed to exist. You cannot be allowed people that... And these are not even the worst cases, okay? There are cases about an 11-year-old girl that was completely drugged out of her mind. There are cases of some of these rapists opening bottles using the girls' parts. There's a testimony of a girl that was being forced to have sex with a dog. We cannot allow these immigrants. We cannot allow these policemen. We cannot allow these hospital workers. And above else, we cannot allow these politicians. We need to enforce death penalty on every single one of them. It's not a mistake. This is not a mistake. It's not very strange and rare cases. 250,000 girls raped since the 50s. And it keeps happening. And they keep importing the worst creatures in the planet. You have to get rid of all of them. Ah, but what about the innocent ones? I don't care. At this point, I don't think there are any innocent ones. I do remember... I keep fidgeting with something here, that's why I keep looking down, don't mind me. I rather fidget a little bit, because this is really heavy, and if I don't, I might get extremely angry. Which, it makes me extremely angry, but I still try to communicate properly here. There was this very old video, it's pretty old by today's standards at least, by... I think it was Paul Joseph Watson. The guy hasn't been relevant in... I don't know, since what, 2018? Think about Muslims and Islam. They will tell, but this is just the radical Muslims. But it is not true. It is not true. The majority of Muslims, even the non-radicals, agree with what the radicals are doing. They won't do it themselves, but they do agree with that. We're talking about billions of people. You cannot coexist with them. If it was normal society, you could say, okay, you can stay in your country, we can stay in our countries, and that's fine. You can keep staying in your shithole. But you see the UK that keeps importing infinite immigrants. You see the new bullshit law that they passed on the EU, where legalizing immigrants becomes extremely easy. I think they mentioned something about 100,000? Yeah, almost a million. They were about to enter or already enter this year, I'm not quite sure, don't remember exactly. Just in Spain, just this year. They will tell you, oh, but you know, this is not real, they're not trying to replace you or whatever. Remember the test we took on Thursday? Do you think having another culture is a threat to your own culture? It is. Because I don't think I explained myself properly. I had some time to think about it. And I guess this is the best possible example. Two different cultures in the same location means two completely different set of values. If they are different, they're incompatible. And what is happening here? One is being valued more than the other. And the one that's being valued, it's not a traditional culture. It's the imported culture. And as we can see, yeah, I don't want those sets of values. Oh, but that's Islamophobic. I don't fucking care. I'd rather be Islamophobic than telling people, yeah, raping girls is good. Are you fucking insane? Absolutely not. They know what they're doing. It's not a mistake. You know, this guy, it's way too stupid. 40 IQ, comes from a shithole place. The guy just doesn't know that raping is bad. Even if that was the case, you cannot make a compelling argument to keep such an individual in the country. It cannot work in this culture. At the very least, stand them out. But with these people, we're talking about I don't know how many millions. Billions? Millions. I want to say millions with an M. I don't know why I said billions. I don't think it's that bad. Yet. I think because I mentioned several billions of Muslims before, that they actually agree with the extremists. You keep importing them for no fucking reason. They keep vulnerating all your people. I saw some people questioning recently if it's actually true that King Charles, the current king of the UK, I think it's Charles III? I'm not quite sure. Not my king, not my problem, you know? Converted to Islam many decades ago. I wonder if it was just King Charles with whatever we're seeing here. You cannot allow these people to stay here at the very least. And this is not just a mistake by the government. This is the government saying, okay, they can do this, and you cannot talk about it. If you talk about these rape gangs, we're gonna put you in jail. If you talk about these rape gangs, we're not gonna take you seriously because of all my racism. If you talk about these rape gangs, maybe it's your fault. Maybe you shouldn't be this racist. Why are you increasing racism against Pakistanis? I don't know. Why do you have so many Pakistani rapists in the UK? They're so far away. You need a death penalty. And you need a death penalty fast. Because if that doesn't happen legally, you will see another kind of justice. It's not gonna be pretty. Absolutely disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Of course, the solution for this is, you know, but you see, the kids, the under 16s, maybe they shouldn't go into social media because it's so evil, it's so dangerous. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so. But they might actually find actual information of what's going on in their countries. Then again, it's really funny how you see still ban on social media for under 16s, except Blue Sky. You can ban social media for under 16s, except Blue Sky. Is it really surprising? Not really. Blue Sky is a communist hellhole filled with child pornography. I wonder what they meant by that. The management wants to control the rapid shift to the right while promoting a far-left platform as its replacement. Fortunately, no one is interested. Mom, what is Blue Sky? It's for pedophiles, honey. Pretty much. And we mentioned this when it happened, we can mention it every single time because it's fucking hilarious. Blue Sky has faced the rising influx of child sexual abuse material and predator activity. As season numbers surge, the platform is showing a critique of harmful content ranging from users attempting to self-expose imagery to pedophiles sharing encrypted chat links. This happened when you saw the first big exodus from Twitter to Blue Sky by a bunch of commies. Funny how that works. But one thing that pisses me off about this is the fact that they say, but most people agree with the ban to the under 16s. You know, most people agree, therefore, it's good. You wanna see how? I'll tell you the test they took. It has been revealed that the public consultation data Curiosity is using to promote his social media ban did not have an against option. So your options are, for the question, would you support it being a legal requirement for social media platforms to have a minimum age lower than 16? If so, what age should it be? Your options, yes. 12 years old or younger. Yes, 13 years old. Yes, 14 years old. Yes, 15 years old. No, it should be 16 years old. Don't know, and prefer not to say. People were pressing 16 years old because it was the most permissive. I bet if you let them say, no, I oppose this, they would actually oppose it. Then again, those filthy civilians, should they have a vote about this matter? democracy, am I right? They give you the answers to get the results they wanted. In many such cases. You think this is democracy? This is a fucking mockery. Parents are the ones that need to ban their kids being on this stuff. I've been saying this for years already. They need to take full responsibility and stop expecting the companies and the government to burn their kids. Kids are killing themselves out there, and the parents have given them the funds and pay the bill. I think you're missing a verb there. I'm shocked. Shocked! Well, not shocked. Well, not shocked. But even then, this is actually not the worst part of all of this. Let me close some stuff here. If it was so important for you, how come you didn't vote in favor of it in March? Only John McDonnell out of your 400 MPs voted in favor. You're a hypocrite, just like all the rest. Hilarious. Didn't my MP vote to ban social media for under 16s? Why hasn't 73 votes for it? 302 votes against. Majority vote against, and it was still passed. This is a fucking mockery. This is not even democracy. This is not politics. This is a fucking mockery. People are saying, no, we don't want this. But the government is doing it anyway. Completely ignoring the votes that the MPs cast. Absolutely insane. But against this motion because they were planning their own. Let's see here. MPs have directed the proposal to ban under 16s from using social media for the second time, as the Prime Minister summoned tech bosses to demand tougher action on internet safety. The House of Government sided with the government against the Lord's Amendment to the Children's Wellbeing and Schools Bill that imposed an age limit on using social media platforms, and the pressure from parents and campaign groups for greater urgency in tackling online harms. If you can't parent your kids properly, you shouldn't be a parent. They voted by 256 to 150, a majority of 106, against the change to the bill brought by the Conservative peer Lord Nash. The Nash Amendment had attempted to bring in a default ban, giving ministers 12 months to decide which platforms should be barred. Instead, the government is pushing ahead with its own consultation into under 16's ban, and potential restrictions on social media platforms will close next month. This is from April. It's fucking stupid. A law can be passed when the majority have voted against it. At the point, what's the point of electing any officials? It's just a dictatorship. It is. Majority voted no, and they're implementing it anyway. In case of Banana Republic. Banana Monarchy, but still, yeah. But we're not. We're not. If you're a teenager, okay, if you're a teenager, you can go into social media. It's not that you cannot go into social media, you cannot really use the internet, because you have to submit your ID and verify your identity, even if you want to check the weather or just use Google. But fret not, okay? Fret not. Because the NHS will recruit children as young as 11 for the puberty blocker trial set to begin in August. It's fine. It's fine. They cannot go into YouTube, okay? But they can just castrate themselves. Cool shit. Cool shit. Researchers at King's College London had a minimum age requirement, meaning girls must be at least 11 and boys at least 12. It had 250 children from NHS gender clinics expected to take part. The trial was passed in February after regulatory concerns about long-term risks, including fertility loss and bone damage. There are not concerns, it's well known it happens. The trial remains subject to the legal challenge. PS watching YouTube? No. Chemical castrate things? Yes, the good shit! Here's that. My goodness. Remember folks, you're the bad and safe, endangered children. Or the blockers, good, safe, absolutely no risk whatsoever. To the point that the current administration is just comically evil. What's my approval rating? As well, Mr. Prime Minister, it's minus 43, it's in the mouth. Could we get lower? I mean, anything could happen, but realistically, kill the ponies. What? The ponies. The killer ponies, kill them. Sir, they're endangered. Fuck them, make the call. Fuck them, make the call. Let's talk less migrants. Kill the ponies. Jeez, what the hell? Actually real. Actually real. Solution for multiple rights. Dartmoor ponies can be subject to mass culling to reduce the impact on biodiversity after a controversial ruling by the government's environmental quango. Quango! What a fucking world! I think this was a quasi-autonomous non-governmental organization, right? Remember that word from a Rupert Lowe video from, God, months ago at this point. Such a funny term. Impact on biodiversity. But hey, if those ponies were Muslim, everything would be fine, okay? Natural England has demanded that all livestock grazing in the moor is reduced by about 75% to protect other habitats, plants, and species. Apparently the ponds themselves are endangered, and they have been there for 3,000 to 4,000 years, some people say. The move looks set, resulting in the culling up to 9 in 10 of the semi-wild ponies. Farmers prioritize their own cattle and sheep to remain within Natural England's limit to minimize the impact on their own livelihoods. Natural England argued that the move was necessary to protect the diversity of Dartmoor, which is a designated site of special scientific interest. However, the plan goes against the government-commissioned review into the future of Dartmoor, published 2 years ago, which concluded that Natural England should not take actions likely to result in reduction in pony numbers, and they were invaluable for conservation grazing. Kill the ponies. The Mo has led the claims that the quango... Why is it so funny? Is acting as judge, jury, and executioner of the ponies. NGOs, by the way. NGOs, by the way. A species with itself seen as endangered. And more ponies could be put to death under biodiversity plans. Can you get some of those? I'm thinking keep pony. Those are actually kind of expensive. But I would if I could. I'm gonna be honest. I would if I could. At this point, I've been considering, is it possible a figure like Keir Starmer is actually playing 6D chess, the smartest man alive? He's just trying to bring things to such a boiling point that people take action, and accelerationists, of course. How do you keep allowing these insane things to happen? You say nothing really about Henry Nowak, and you're like, oh, bias, but what about the racisms? You keep banning people. You try to push a more restrictive internet than fucking China. And now you're telling me you want to kill endangered species. Sure, might not be Keir Starmer that said that, but he could say no, being the Prime Minister and all that. I thought that could be the case, but not anymore. We need to protect natural habitats, support infinite foreigners that don't give a fuck about the environment. Yeah, about that, we must have something related to that. Keir Starmer is now considering resigning after cabinet ministers called for him to step down. He came to a decision with his wife and family over the weekend. I don't think so. I just think he happens to be just another prime minister in this long line of absolutely fucking disgusting politicians in the UK that keep pushing for insane things. They resign and nothing ever happens. That shouldn't be allowed to happen. You shouldn't just be able to be, oh, I'm gonna resign. Oh, I'm safe, I'm back at home. That should never happen. Such a thing is absolutely fucking insane. I'm sorry. There's no other way of saying it. Absolutely fucking insane. They can just do whatever the fuck they want, and then resign, rinse and repeat. Why? Now, if we lived in a just world, something like that would never happen. These people will be dealt with swiftly. Maybe, and only maybe, the British need to learn a thing or two about the French. I'll leave it at that. before we get way too spicy, you know? If we get way too spicy, that would be bad. Speaking of the environment, I need to find it here. Yeah, this thing. Insane! A UK lawyer who cleaned out 200 bags of waste from polluted river and faced up to 2 years in prison for doing it without a permit. Ah, you have a license for the trash bags? I made a license! Paul Polsland says wildlife fish and dragonflies have returned to the river since the cleanup began. Can the UK stop being in several guns for 5 seconds? No. No. Absolutely not. And when you see these insane immigrants that we keep seeing all the fucking time, they just drop their trash into the river. They just drop the trash in natural parks. Where's the justice there? Why aren't you going to do anything about those? Well, it's by design, I'm afraid. You're not allowed to have anything. Not even. Your national parks are respected, and they are still protected by law. But then again, if they keep raping girls, and the actual numbers are actually much more higher than that, we're talking about almost 1 million of UK citizens being raped. Almost 1 million. I do think they're gonna care about something as silly as the greenery. Absolutely not. But the ponies? Fuck the ponies. Fucking insanity. Fucking insanity. Completely backwards. That shouldn't be the case. But here we are. Here we are. On top of this ID verification stuff, it's kind of funny that the United Arab Emirates are also gonna do something like that. Imagine that. The United Arab Emirates sets the minimum social media age at 15, mandates age checks. The United Arab Emirates has set the minimum age of 15 for social media use. Become the first Arab country to introduce such a restriction as governments worldwide seek to address growing concerns over the impact of online platforms on children. There are worse things to worry about, gotta be honest. A resolution approved on Thursday, children under 15 will be prohibited from creating, using, or operating personal social media accounts. The ban means they will not be able to post content, comment, share, or join public groups. The government's media office said. Teenagers aged 15 and 16 will be allowed to use social media platforms subject to enhanced safeguards, including age gap appropriate content controls, restrictions on interaction with unknown users, screen time management tools, and parental supervision features. Those features already exist, but the parents are fucking trash. My god, you know what? You know what? Death penalty for the rapists. Death penalty for the politicians. Death penalty for anybody else that were helping them. Deportations to every single one of them that keep lobbying to put more insane immigrants in Western countries. Deportations for these parents. We're sending back to India. No, but they're not from India. Do I look like a girl? I don't. Get rid of them. Now they will learn what is to have a difficult life. And if they happen to be Indian, send them to Pakistan, of course. The rules apply to all social media platforms operating in the UAE and require companies to implement robust age verification measures, including digital identity checks, artificial intelligence supported technologies. Those never fucking work, everything can be bypassed. Just draw a fancy mustache on top of your lip. The declaration of age will not be accepted as a valid form of verification. And yeah, whatever. People will start using all sorts of disguises, even those very realistic face masks. Oh yeah, I'm actually, oh my, I'm 75, look at me, I'm bald. Platforms must also disable accounts created by children under 15, prevent users from circumventing age verification systems, and refrain from using children's personal data for targeted advertising or behavioral profiling. The government said the measures were designed to address concerns about children's exposure to inappropriate content, unsafe online interactions, excessive social media use, and accumulation of personal data. It's in Europe, Gatry. I think the main problems are right there. And the thing is social media. Social media companies will have up to 12 months to comply with the new regulations. The UAE set the framework aligns with international efforts, strengthening online child protection while balancing digital access with safety. It's not wrong, because it's actually happening, but it shouldn't happen. Strengthening online child protection while balancing digital access with safety. Why do you keep giving devices with internet access to kids? Are you fucking stupid? Or are you just a useless parent? I don't fucking care. A bunch of fucking idiots that keep pushing for more government control. Annoying. Plainly evil. I'll send you to Pakistan too. Fuck you. Several countries, including Australia and others in Europe, have moved to tighter restrictions on children's use of social media amid mounting concerns about its effects on mental health and online safety. Oh, my mental health. My mental health. Useless. Fucking useless. Back in the day, when I was in middle school, so many centuries ago, parental controls were already a thing on computers. Did you know that? Parental controls are a thing on smartphones anyway. You can even give your kids a dumb phone. Only messages and calls. The other thing, something happens, you contact with me, which is good and reasonable. It's not for you to keep chatting with your friends. Fuck you, little kid. But no, it's too difficult. My goodness, these parents are plainly useless. Then again, as usual, it's just the parents' fault. Oh, but both mom and dad work, so when they get back, I didn't want to deal with the little kid. So, look kid, there you go, a phone, just watch YouTube. Yeah, what about Elsagate? You remember Elsagate? I remember Elsagate. No, that's not how you parent. Are you fucking stupid? Don't answer that. They probably are anyway. Absolutely fucking disgusting. In related news, with strange control and whatnot, we have this here. Illinois Governor Pritzker has set a 0.2% tax on crypto transactions into law, including transfer between personal wallets, with the Crypto Council for Innovation calling it the most punitive digital asset tax in the country. Country, not county. But crypto's so good, dude. Crypto's so good. You have so much control. It's a parallel economy, and suddenly the government. Hey, buddy. Where's my part? God fucking damn it. Always with the fucking taxes. And you could think, it's only 0.2%, it's not too bad. Yeah. If I change my wallet from right pocket to left pocket, why do I have to pay 0.2% of what I have? Right? It's literally the same. It shouldn't be, at the bare minimum, not between personal wallets. So much for that. So much for that. Including transfer between personal wallets. Go fuck yourself! Yep. Fine that you vote Democrat, you're a complete fucking moron. Big mistake with the Bitcoin B. I like a government, but for stupid people. Is he a Democrat? I actually have no idea. Illinois governor. Governor. Thinking big for all of Illinois. Sure thing, pal. Affiliation, I guess. Bad affiliation. Come on, man, you can just give me the party, okay? It's not that difficult. But it's just a briefing from gov.illinois.gov. So not surprising. Ah, Democratic governor. Okay, alright, yeah, it's them. Makes sense, I suppose. I'm gonna be honest, I would expect the same from Republicans, okay? Nowadays, you cannot really tell who's doing what. We have some updates for all news here. I don't think I need to turn off the music for this. We have finally here a video by Benny Johnson. Breaking! Footage from the moment Carmelo Anthony stabbed Ultimate Gaff under the tent has been released. Criminal can be seen fleeing after the murder. Evil. It's the tent. It's a little bit hard to say, in my opinion. I will try to pause and go frame by frame as best as I can. My help, it's really dark because inside the tent, of course. Clearly, nobody's being surrounded. Nobody's just MBSing of the poor black guy. I think I saw another shorter clip for this. Very ominous music for this, but I guess it makes sense. I think it's about to happen. I don't remember somebody on white passing by. Yeah, right there, right there. Guy runs up there, throws the knife, and starts running. So if we go back a little bit, there appear to be at an arm's length, which is very normal looking in my opinion. We can see here, there's the bush, and there's the stab. And he just runs. Not well because it's really something, but you can see the circle there. He runs up a little bit to throw the knife, and then she just starts running away. Oh, but my self-defense, yeah, I'm not sure about that one. I'm not so sure about that one, pal. Okay, alright. We're not gonna scroll too much. We're not gonna scroll too much. These people get maybe a little bit too spicy, which I think it makes sense, but... yeah, let's not risk it for the biscuit, as they say. So yeah, the thing about the self-defense, unlikely. I think there was another video with the arrest, which pretty much it's just what we've been told about the arrest. The guy was just crying, I'm not alleged I did it! Okay, good fucking job. Good fucking job, so much for self-defense and whatnot. We also have another article, I'm not gonna go through it. Now before going into that, I guess I need to mention, there was a tweet running around, it went kind of viral, about apparently Carmelo Anthony having some sort of complaint in prison because he was being sexually abused. Really funny? Not real. Not real. Might eventually happen. Not real. The account was a parody account. I thought I should mention it just in case. But we have here another piece of work. Henry Killer left covering in cell after facing threats from other inmates. Not so tough in prison, are you? We don't need to go through the article. We don't care enough about this. Oh no! Anyway, apparently Jeremy Clarkson has confirmed to have cancer. I'm sorry to hear that. I hope he gets better. So he'll now know what Henry felt like. 2-1, but he had a knife. Henry didn't stand a chance. Well, isn't that kind of funny? I'm sorry, but I just don't feel any empathy or sympathy for either this guy or Carmelo Anthony. I would say that the Carmelo situation is even more stupid. Of course, the guy completely fucked his life by killing another kid. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Carmelo Anthony was not even a ghetto thug, you know? He had good grades. He lived in a somewhat wealthy family in a good location. There's something else, and that's just the money. Sad to say. Okay, alright. This next article is absolutely fucking bonkers. I read it the other day, and it kept me thinking, okay, once again, why are Jews saying these things? Why are Jews acting like these stereotypes? It's not gonna help them. Maybe they shouldn't. But I guess some people are just evil, not implying that all Jewish people are evil. But clearly you can be evil while being Jewish. I had this thing here, by the Daily Mail. I saw the New York Post article, it seemed much more propagandistic. I think this is somewhat more neutral. And tell Colonel Student he said he is not interested in working for a Jew. He's giving 11,000 USD from supporters who blame Jewish people for trying to ruin his career. Well, maybe not. It's up to 20,000 at this point. A Colonel Student caught in a whirlwind controversy after declaring that he was not interested in working for a Jew has received more than 11,000 USD from supporters who blame Jewish people for trying to ruin his reputation. Very weird stuff, not gonna lie. Austin Franco, another Austin, what the hell? Is it that common in the US? I guess so. 19 sparked a fierce debate on social media after he threw down an interview at the tech startup about the founder's Jewish faith. Gabe Einhorn, the 24-year-old chief executive of Brief ID, I looked a little bit into this company. Well, they mention anti-fraud platform. It's about document verification. I think they also have some stuff about identity verification. So, it is kinda funny on its own accords, in my opinion. Jumped on Angst to share the message he received from Franco on the college career platform Handshake. He included a screenshot of Franco's comments, which read, "Not interested in working for a Jew. Thanks." Yet, after receiving months of backlash with his comments, supporters began appearing and dwelling behind the Ivy League student. A gift and go was even made for Franco, which garnered over 11,400 USD as of Monday afternoon. More than 20,000 at this point, from what I've seen. And Captain X, which operates under the username Lord Miles, said he created the fundraiser and wrote, "I've created a gift and go with 100% of proceeds going to him. Jews are doxing this man and trying to ruin his career. I cannot let that happen." The author, who is known for controversial content, it's not that controversial, it's the guy just going to different countries and see what's up. You think that's controversial? I mean, you might think that, but I think that kind of says more about you than the content. I wouldn't talk about the factuality of different cultures. A bit odd. And Verifying X account previously believed to be connected to Franco, which has a bio that read, "Standing by my principles, honor, integrity, and loyalty." Here we have the tweet. Pretty much the same. This is Lord Miles himself. I believe restore breathing. Restore breathing, yeah. Maybe that's why he is so controversial. You cannot be a fan of restore breathing. What are you doing? Just got confirmation that this is indeed Austin. North of several AI detectors, the account wrote, alongside photos of Franco holding up a notepad that read, "Lord Miles, June 13th, 2026. Ron Lynch also claimed that he called Franco and verified was in fact the Cornell student. He is very grateful for all the donations and was very stressed about his life being ruined by people who hate Christ. The account added, "Not wrong! Not wrong. Everything, most conflicts you see are actually just religious conflicts. Believe what you must, but that is truth." The user later said, "A lot of generous donations. Thank everyone so far. As someone who got almost kicked out of university in 2021 for denying the existence of Israel, I personally empathize with this kid." I mean, the location is here, the validity of it, it's a different thing, I believe. "I just raised 10,000 for anti-Semitism," in the post from Ron Lynch, probably declared, referring to the Gives and Go. I'm pretty sure this is Lord Miles. I hate when they just use their actual names, just use their accounts. It's way easier, but they allow this doxy nature and narrative. It's a little bit nasty. The Israel said, no, I read that. Okay, right here. The controversy even attracted the attention of former New York City Mayor Eric Adams, wrote on X. He was offered the job and turned it down because he was not interested in working for a Jew. Reverse the word Jew within the religious or racial group, and the outrage would be immediate and universal. What a fucking liar, fuck you. What if we say Christian or white? Of course not, nobody will care. But I think this kid is actually justified, okay? Not because I'm saying, you should hate Jewish people, I don't actually care. But it's freedom of association. If there's somebody you don't like, for whatever reason, you don't have to work for them. That's slavery, or serfdom, whatever you prefer. And it's the guy not opting to work for the Jew. Not a guy not wanting to hire a Jew because he's a Jew, which would be actually illegal. I don't know if that is fair, but That's the law. Anti-Semitism has become dangerously normalized on some of our most elite campuses and institutions. Not necessarily wrong, but not by the people you would be accusing normally. What should be condemned with hesitation is to often excused, ignored, or rationalized. You think this isn't your fight because you are not Jewish? Think again. Brother, I'm European. I don't know what to tell you. I think I have quite a different fight here, you know? Much more difficult than the Jew fight, I'm sorry. I don't care about their delicious grandeur in the Middle East either. And they keep bombing the Lebanon. And the Hormuz Strait appears to be closed again thanks to Israel bombing the Lebanon. Despite the Americans' best efforts trying to end the current conflict, I will say that yes, the Americans also kickstarted the conflict, and that was a really bad idea. But at this point, Israel's just like a rabid dog that will not let go. The US should stop acting as just the guard dog for Israel. I'm gonna be honest. Our strongest ally, I don't know about that one, Chief. I'm saying the CIA will never spy on Israel, and they will always share their secrets with the Mossad. Very odd. Very odd. What about sovereignty? Well, how about that? He never stops with one group. It may begin with the Jews, but history has shown that it never ends there. Adams concluded, Look, I don't have enough sympathy or empathy for other groups. I want to care first and foremost about my group. When we are fine and dandy, we might think about other people. It's so selfish, yeah. Who the fuck cares? Yeah, the images, they mention they're here. Oh my god! What are you doing? Are you insane? What? Okay, alright. Why do you have a Jewish swimmer supporting Strom Hamdani of all people? Pro-Palestine commie? Huh? Maybe the kid was right. Maybe these people are evil. Austin Franco. Okay, let's see. I was stating why I wasn't interested after you had asked me to interview you 3 times. I found out that you were Jewish after the fact. My experiences with Jews have not been pleasant, both in person and online. This is not to say I haven't had positive experiences, but on the aggregate, that is not the case. This is not a guy pushing for a narrative. This is not a guy discriminating. This is a guy just stepping away from a situation he doesn't want to be in, and he's being punished for it. You cannot just grill anymore, okay? They will not let you. More on that thing a little bit, I guess. We have a couple of slobber articles, but one of them is a little bit disgusting and propagandistic. We'll love a slobber from time to time. Obviously, the actions by your community only serves to further prove my point and indicate your boasting angst was not done in good faith. I'm sure that if you indicated you didn't want to work for someone who was white or Christian, this would not have blown up to the capacity it has here today, nor you would have been intimidated, I think this is a typo, as I have been. Additionally, even supposing none of this were to happen, your actions here today will demonstrate the level of maturity and possible insecurity, which I would expect of a 24-year-old self-proclaimed entrepreneur. Ooh, that went into the kidney. That's a low blow, but it's super effective. Even though I have been dogs and intimidated, yeah, same typo. Some people make mistakes, it's fine. By your community, including having my personal life investigated for no other reason than a single comment I can't imagine any reasonable person will come to a similar conclusion for the post above. Yeah, I haven't had good experiences with these people. You know what? Fuck you! We're gonna dox you, and we're gonna end you! Proving his point. What are you doing? And then, for no reason whatsoever, people in Germany got really funny. Back in the day, you know? Frank's ex-account surfaced after he stood his ground, following the viral comment to Einhorn, who is incredibly vocal about his Jewish faith on his social media and LinkedIn. I mean, if he wants to be vocal, I think that's fine. It's not a big deal, right? It's your religion, it's your ethnicity, whatever. Who the fuck cares? But you're using it as a weapon. That's where it becomes a problem. Damien Frank explained that he has previously had negative experiences with people of Jewish faith. We just read that. They're just gonna quote it. The Kant sales started asking if anyone was hiring, offered up his resume. Looks English, but it's actually a French word, as usual. They would be happy to go on any shows to display my doxing and much more on LinkedIn Instagram account. And if you think you have a legitimate case to be made for doxing information or something else, feel free to reach out. He reports that feels a little bit too on the nose, right? A little bit too grifty, but I think it'll make sense. I just raised 10,000 for anti-Semitism. Here's the official post. Hello, Aiding, and I think it had the full name and the email. If you have a tech startup, you should be tech savvy enough to know that's a big no-no. Let's give the playthrough job on Handshake, we said to him, and then he responded this. He probably knows nothing about Jews, and he said, accept, not accept, for what they tell him in college and on social media. Sad world. Look, if the guy had poor experiences, him stepping away from that job is fine. But no, even that is seen as, it's way too much. It's crazy. Also, what is going on with Americans not being able to write properly? I know there are some common mistakes people make. Maybe it's because I'm ESL, so I actually have to learn the language. It's a second language, and put some more effort. I never did put any effort to learning English, I'm gonna be honest. I thought it was really easy. But I guess intimate instead of intimidate could be just a case of either predictive text or autocorrect. It's a possibility. But accept instead of accept, it's crazy. I have people use effect and affect interchangeably, which now one is a noun, the other one is the verb. And then get me into your and you are, okay? These guys don't have any excuse, these are meant to be smart people. They went to college. This guy's meant to be an entrepreneur. What is happening? It disappoints me a lot when you say that. It's fine if I'm making mistakes, okay? Because I am ESL. You are not. How are you making this mistake? My goodness. Going to Franco's LinkedIn, the current student is working toward a Bachelor of Science degree in International Labor Relations. Yeah, about the labor relations. About those relations. I don't know anymore, man. It was revealed that Franco attended Virginia Tech College of Science, where he studied economics and made the Dean's List twice. It was in the fall of 2024, and then again in the spring of last year. I guess that's impressive. I actually not quite sure about this. Never went to college. I'm a heathen. What can you say? The Ivy League student was supposed to experience in key roles across many extracurricular clubs, including serving as president of his high school debate club and participating in the school's Model United Nations. Is this actually a thing? Ah, shit, it's not a thing here, man. If you're in middle to high school, you barely have anything that's extracurricular anyway. Boy, I would never have participated in those as a teenager. Nowadays, I would be an extreme shitter about them. It's interesting, I suppose. Ahorn's initial post features a screenshot of Franco's response to the interview offer. The company co-founder wrote, yada, we just read that. We just read that. Road would be if we were writing something. No more puns for us, okay? They're getting killed. Ronald blurred out his last name initially. Mr. Threat unveiled the student. Einhorn wrote, don't need to ruin his life. But there was something in the screenshot that was public information, may have been the full name then. But Franco was eventually exposing in an updated video that Einhorn posted on Instagram, which showed the message sent on the Handshake Careers platform alongside the student's full name. Okay, there we go. Maybe don't... Why do you have so many people making these blatant mistakes when they are on social media? Or just live in general? It's very odd to me. To some extent you have to think if it's plausible deniability. Oh no, it was just a mistake. Yeah, but the guy got doxxed. How about that, you know? That's not good. I don't think these guys are gonna get in any legal trouble because of that anyway, but... it's still not a good look for them. A spokesman for Cornell University wrote underneath Einhorn's post. Cornell University is aware of an unconfirmed report regarding a post made by a student on the Handshake platform. We take reports of discrimination and hate speech seriously. They're utterly reviewing the matter. Discrimination and hate speech because the guy is stepping away. This is not discrimination. If anything, this is self-discrimination. This guy is stepping away from a possible job himself because he doesn't like the people. You're not entitled to people working for you, okay? What do you think? You can just go to college and get slaves? Come on, this is not the 50s anymore. That's bonkers to me, dude. Just a normal looking kid. They have it with here. Carl condemns anti-Semitism and all forms of hatred and discrimination in the strongest possible terms. Our university remains deeply committed to fostering, filter and foster their memes any longer. Every single time I see fostering, I can only think of Senator Armstrong. Fostering a safe, inclusive, and respectful environment for every member of our community. That seems to be a veiled accusation. It's the usual PR speech, but still. Yada. Now, the trust and safety specialist at Handshake wrote Wayne Horn regarding the incident and said the company was looking into the message that violated its terms of service. Our team is reaching out to the student and their school directly to address their behavior on the platform. The message shared by Einhorn Gangs well. She made us well with reactions following Einhorn's post. Very wishes for you to block his name. This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. The rise of anti-Semitism in America is literally crazy, especially since it all came after October 7th. I'm gonna be honest. You want to call that anti-Semitism? I can actually bring it up, potentially. That very belligerent recent post on Twitter by Minister of Defense in Israel, I think. It has a really strange name, Bagdavir or something like that. Sounds like a Witcher character. Saying something along the lines of, if a Israeli woman weeps, 1,000 Palestinians must weep. Therefore, implying, for every person you kill here, we will kill 1,000. I think those are the good guys. I don't know about that one. There was also, I don't remember if it was a speech or a tweet by fucking Bibi Netanyahu, where he was drawing a comparison between one-day Israelis and Nazis, or himself and Hitler. He was not winning the comparison. It was hilarious. People were like, okay, alright, come on. How is it possible you compare yourself to Hitler of all people and you seem to be losing? What are you doing? I wouldn't compare the guy to Hitler or anything like that, but I don't think he's a good guy either. You can have different flavors of bad people anyway. Hot take, I suppose. This sent to America when user commented under Einhorn's post. Hey, I thought Americans had freedom of association. I guess not. You don't dodge a bullet, Gabe. You dodge a whole effing missile. Another common thread. Yeah, that's not an Israeli for sure. I've just seen the Iron Dome, not that useful, I'm afraid. Those supersonic missiles, whoo, those shits are crazy fast, dude. They're impressive technology. In the tough environment where internships are so hard to come by, the student chooses anti-Semitism. My daughter has been applying to hundreds of internships with no luck. She'll never have answer like that, after I wrote. Because the kid is self-righteous, but not utilitarian. It's not discrimination not wanting to work for a specific company for whatever reason. It's not you, the worker, that holds the power there. It's the company. It's the company who decides if you work for them or not. At the end of the day, if you actually want to apply. It's so fucking backwards. But then again, the eternal victim. It's so annoying. It's so fucking annoying. Kinda want to punch them in the nose. In Minecraft, of course. Thank goodness he revealed himself, and he is not too bright. You have better candidates. Another reassured. Not too bright. Well, I don't know about that one. We'll see. If it is a road. The anti-Israeli sentiment is spreading into very scary, hateful behavior towards a religion. I was stupid, and it's awful. I'm sorry to say this. It's a culture, and you don't have to like a different culture from your own, or even accept it. I know it's very different in the US, but the point still stands because it's a human trait, this being tribalistic. Both Ahorn and his brother, Aiden Ahorn, you couldn't have a worse sounding name. They sound way too similar, I don't like it. Who co-founded the company with him, have since appeared in videos on social media, and sat down with Fox News. Look at me. The poor company. The poor company. Shut up, dude, please. I would say there's too much hate in the world right now. To overgeneralize on a specific religion or a specific race, it's never a good idea. Ahorn told Fox News, don't appear now. Fuck off. Not going to Facebook. Overgeneralize a religion. A religion is usually a set of values. And if you have several different sets of values clashing with each other, you might have an incompatibility here. Something I said several times today already. Well. Just people are across the board. From different walks of life, they could become friends, they could do business together, they can build a family together. Now I think it's a good idea to regionalize that sense. I think we need to come together and bring more love to the world. Alabama reached out to Ahorn, then reach Frank for comment. Good for him. He's trying to ruin his life, proving his point. Which is the fun part of all of this, of course. I can only imagine how many stupid things he said when he wasn't anything. Unfortunately, social media did not exist, whatever. Give me more. He looks Jewish to me? I don't think so. He looks like a normal kid anyway. Split opinions here. Very funny. A desperate thing he's scoring now some Nazis may throw him some pennies, but make no mistake, his career is ruined. You cannot step away, dude. You cannot step away from something you don't like. It's crazy. What would be the correct way of doing things then? Just work for them forever? Because it would be anti-Semitic to pull off? What a strange thing to say. Very strange. Very strange. Strange comments here. We have the short version. Be 24-year-old Colonel Kill. It's actually a 19-year-old kid. The 24-year-old is the entrepreneur. Oh no, it's seen from the point of view of the Ahorn guy. No, it isn't. Okay, I think this is wrong. I'm gonna correct this as 19-year-old. Be a 19-year-old Colonel Kill. Some guy hands you for 3 interviews, you finally say, nah, I'm good. And find out the guy, Ahorn Gabe, is Jewish. Then your experiences with Jews haven't been great. Guy immediately doxes you, lists your full name, and email has your personal life investigated all over one comment. Tags Bill Ackman, tags him Palantir co-founder, hands the whole thing to the media. Fucking Palantir hit the situation. In your powers runs a full circle, and this made a college kid refusing to work for Jews. Pure victimhood porn. From right in minutes. All this because the Goy said no thanks to working for Jews. The party organizes itself. Digo no. Please, do not have the summer here with the keep hand up. It looks disgusting. Of course, I think Skylos is playing the victim now. It seems like people are concerned that I heard Gabe's company might fill their personal data to Israel. I mean, if they are actually working with Palantir, which I'm not saying they are, but they seem to have ties with the co-founder or something like that. I guess that's a possibility. Very strange and very odd situation in general. Always proving people right. You don't have a permanent shield anymore, guys. People are getting fed up with Israel and the victim mentality. I'm sorry to tell you this. Speaking of strange news, we also have this, which appears to be a bit odd. In the news for today, Ibaraki. Not me. Ibaraki Prefecture in Japan. Mayor of East Japan City found dead in canal. Police probing possibility of suicide. The mayor of the city of Shimotsuma, in Eastern Japan's Ibaraki prefecture, has nothing to do with me, okay? It was not me, I promise. I've been at home. Was found dead in a drainage canal early on June 15th. Based on the circumstances of the scene, police are investigating the possibility that he took his own life. People are saying there's no way it was a suicide. This man was probably taken out. The body of Mayor Toiji Sudo, 67, was found in the drainage canal in Yechiyu, Ibaraki Prefecture, at about 12:50 a.m. According to Shimotsuma Police Station, Sudo's family visited the station at about 11:15 p.m. on June 14th, saying that he was late in coming home, and reported him missing. During a subsequent search, a police officer found Sudo in the canal about 2 kilometers south of his home. He was confirmed dead at the scene by emergency responders. I'm assuming they just ditched the cadaver. Sudo's car was reportedly parked nearby. Sudo served as a Shimotsuma Municipal Assembly member from April 2002 to January this year. Wow, that's a long ass fucking time. He announced his candidacy for the 2022 mayoral election, but withdrew after developing a heart condition. He ran again in the March 2026 election, beating the two-term incumbent by only 262 votes. Very giddy. According to the city, Sudo responded to general questions at a regular city council meeting on June 12th. On June 13th, he attended the funeral in official capacity, and on June 14th, he participated in a fire prevention drill in Shimotsuma Onokucho district from 9 a.m. In his guest address, he thanked residents for their cooperation in city administration and spoke about fire prevention awareness before leaving. He returned home at around 9:15 a.m. The employee who drove him there said he appeared no different from usual. Since taking office, Suda had never missed official duties because of illness. However, one city employee said he's tired from his unfamiliar mayoral duties and interactions with the assembly, but he didn't appear troubled. He wouldn't kill himself, he would just retire, right? That would be normal, and I understand that there's some sort of suicide culture in Japan, but I don't think it's that common nowadays. You can just retire. Some other officials have done it, it's fine. Better than just, dying. And with that said, I had heard that since he became mayor, he hadn't been in good health and his blood pressure was high. That's normal. I'm gonna say that's normal. If he has a heart condition, it could be ill-advised for him to continue. But we'll see. Deputy Mayor Takashi Watanabe has assumed the role of acting mayor. The city will notify the Municipal Election Commission within 5 days, and the mayoral election will be held within 50 days. Wow, actually really fast. And the Japanese Regional, they mentioned the online for suicide prevention, which makes sense. What I have here, a tweet by Madame Sabi again. A mayor... It's not great. A mayor of Ibaraki has been countering the invasion, and this is being labeled suicide? Very odd. I have it here. The mission pretty much the same that we have read. America rolls out main tip line targeting illegal foreign hiring. But yeah, this is a different man. I think she made a mistake here. This is the governor of the prefecture, Kazuhiko Oigawa, and this was the mayor of Shimotsuma, Toiji Sudo. I guess she made a mistake. It could still be related, because I don't know about these very local Japanese politics, as you might expect. There's the new cash for this around targeting illegal employment, and the prefectural office in Mito on April 2nd. Yeah, I think she kind of made a mistake here. She saw the location and she probably thought they were the same guy. A reasonable mistake to make, but not a mistake I will make, okay? I understand the difference in names and roles. A bit of a shame. I guess we can take a look at this tweet here. Okay, alright. I'm not quite sure who Yuasa is. Appears to be some sort of official, but it's hard to tell. Ambassador in Singapore? Hold up. In Singapore for 20 years, due to Japan in 2020, former general manager of PHP in South Asia, started the business in 2010, ran in 2023 and 5 local elections. Okay, alright. Not a prefecture. I see, I understand. And he's talking about the rubber law thing we mentioned before. Cases were utterly horrifying. In Japan, it seems that the term foreign nationals has vanished from the Ibaraki Prefectural Police website. The days after the mayor's death. We get those who can't protect their families, their children. It's truly pathetic. I guess it could be related. I think the connections here are a little bit too slim. Too slim. I would say it's possible. I don't know if it's likely. So it's fine for us to mention it, but I should mention, yes, the governor and the governor and the mayor, completely different people. It's not the governor of the Ibaraki prefecture who died. So we'll see. Could have been heart failure, if I'm being honest. Could have been heart failure. Maybe the guy went for a drive around to chill out, maybe to the convenience, who knows. And he had heart attack and fell. It's a possibility. I don't know. I don't think we know the actual reason for his death. Let me actually bring this up and close those. Not that one. Let me see. Is Sudo or Sudo? Sudo. Cause of death. Let's see if we have anything here. 5 days ago. This is the same article. The Bank Times, 5 days ago. Nippon.com, 5 days ago. Yeah, I don't think there's anything. Any official information about the cause of death. Oh! Okay, alright. I wonder if there's something really strange on the side. It is the same thing. Ctrl-Shift-T. I think I need to move it to probably M for mask instead of T for Tengu. Okay, alright. We can close that, we can close that, we can close that. So we can get into a little bit of Slava here for a second. The first article is a little bit odd, especially being from the extent of all places. First time, bug eaters actually want to keep eating them, according to a study. Don't fall for the propaganda. Do not eat the bugs. They are actually not good for you. They will say, but they're chock full of protein. And it's not wrong. They have a lot of protein. But there's a caveat. It's a type of protein you cannot use as a human. They also come with chitin, which is cancer-inducing. It can make bug-eating lizards sick if they eat too much. We're not bug-eating creatures, so we're in dire straits. I will also mention, as I always mention, if you are, for some reason, allergic to seafood, like for example shrimps and whatnot, it's the same type of allergy. It might kill you, and in some cases, these bugs are not properly labeled. It's actually really dangerous. Really dangerous. Extreme globalist propaganda here. New studies suggest that people may be far more willing to eat insect-based foods than researchers previously believed, with many participants even preferring instant protein bars or traditional cereal bars. Just eat fucking beef jerky. I'm gonna be honest. Oh, don't like this. Researchers from the University of Beira Interior in Portugal. I was expecting California, but no. Found out to examine how consumers react to insect-based foods by measuring both physiological responses and personal opinions during a tasting experiment. The findings represented the Society for the Study of Ingestive Behavior's annual meeting, and challenged long-held assumptions that consumers instantly reject foods made with insects. If you watch horror flicks, when the illusion flickers, instead of having an insane banquet with really good-looking food, becomes a bunch of bugs. That is because, yeah, people don't like eating bugs. Shocker. Shocker. I know. 38 adults who had never previously tried insect-based foods took part in the study. Participants sampled both an instant protein bar and a cereal bar while researchers monitored their brain activity and heart rates throughout the testing sessions. They couldn't pay me to do anything like this, man. Oh, it looks so disgusting. I don't want to look at the image. I don't like bugs. I don't like bugs normally. Do you think I want to eat them? No. What's wrong with you? In continuous release in the study, researchers initially expected participants to have limited awareness of insect-based foods, favor the cereal bar, and show stronger physiology reactions to the insect-based product. I kinda want to know more about this. 38 adults their backgrounds and whatnot. Because of cultural differences. I know they, in theory, had never previously tried insect-based foods, but still. Instead, results pointed in a different direction. The researchers expected participants to have low awareness of insect-based foods, prefer the cereal bar, and show strong physiological reactions to the insect-based product. The release said. Instead, the findings revealed that people were often more curious and receptive than expected. Now we have to send them back. Oh, but they're actually Portuguese. We have to send them back. We have to send them back, Billy. Some participants were informed that they were eating an insect-based product, while others were told they were eating a cereal bar. Despite consuming a bar containing insect ingredients. So you were lying to them. How odd. Ugh, disgusting. The physiological measurements show that participants became more attentive and engaged while consuming the insect-based bars, the release said. Researchers also observed increased heart rates during the tastings, which they said indicated heightened arousal and attentiveness. Is it because they didn't know what the bars contained? If that is the case, and that's how the test has been labeled, the test is a failure, because people that want to eat bugs wouldn't risk it. I wouldn't participate in something like this. I don't like bugs. See? Already biased. The response occurred even among participants who did not know they were eating an insect-based product. And I'm not even sure what they're trying to demonstrate anymore. Most participants ultimately reported preferring the insect protein bar over the cereal bar, leading researchers to conclude that curiosity and attention may outweigh initial disgust toward insect-based foods. No. Not even my ancestors 2,000 years ago were eating bugs, okay? I am not gonna start now. We have been eating animals for thousands of years. I need their life force. I need the traces of their soul. I think I picked the mic, I'm sorry. But I need the traces of their soul to remain powerful and superhuman. Back in January, another study drew attention after researchers found that regularly eating dark chocolate could be linked to longer lifespan. I'd rather eat dark chocolate than bugs, for sure. I kind of like dark chocolate. I enjoy the bitterness a little bit. A lot of continued interest in unconventional or overlooked foods may offer unexpected benefits. No, we're not gonna eat the bugs. We're not gonna eat the bugs. They will say, but what about the farms? The farms, they just contaminate so much. The farms are such a difficult thing. It's actually not that bad. Okay, it's actually not that bad. There's a lot of lies, there's a lot of deception. But they consume so much water. Kind of the same thing people say about data centers. Gotta be honest. This is elementary school science. Water does not disappear, okay? In the case of data centers, it evaporates into the atmosphere and then just becomes clouds and it rains. Cool. In the case of farms, you use the water to give it as a drink for the cows, for example. Okay, cool. A lot of the water that's used in farms is actually rainwater, which is running in natural cycles, so that's it. But that water doesn't disappear. Water has the normal cycle through the human body, and then you excrete that as piss. So the cows piss into the ground and it filters into nature, potentially being useful for grass, potentially getting filtered by different layers of dirt and rocks, which is actually also a part of the natural cycle, and eventually appearing in underground water deposits. Still part of natural water cycles. But what about the methane? What about the methane? Methane is not a big deal. Okay, the methane is not a big deal. It's just they fart a bunch of methane, and then the methane just starts combining with other things and becoming different components. It's okay. It's fine. It's not a big deal. And on top of this, they usually use the narrative about, but with the amount of greenery you use to feed the cows, you could produce more vegetables. It's actually correct. Most of the things these animals eat are not fit for human consumption. if you have farm animals, you know about this. If you have seen them eating grass at the very least, you as a human cannot eat grass. You cannot properly digest grass. Cows can. Because cows are ruminants and they have 4 fucking stomachs, okay? It's not something that's easy to actually digest. But they can do it eventually. So you're turning a natural product like grass or some other plants that you cannot actually consume into food suitable for you. Really good food. I mean, beef is fantastic. Really tasty, a lot of protein. It's great. Batch of fucking nonsense. Batch of fucking nonsense. It's also kind of funny. I don't know why I'm going into this tangent. I don't like environmentalists because they're really stupid. Maybe that's why. I get passionate, okay? As I said, it is a day to get passionate about things. I think it's fine. I've seen people chilling for normal farms that just vegetable farms. I see they're just much better, and you don't need to kill animals with this. It's actually extremely correct. The more vegetables you have, the more pesticides you have to use. You end up killing more bugs, which is kind of funny. Why don't you eat those? Do not, those are poison, come on, obviously. But something that they don't tell you is that they actually have to get rid of wild animals. Especially animals like boars. Boars are really dangerous. And they will try to get into the farm to eat the vegetables. Why not? It's food, it's right there. Ah, but there's a fence. Boars are the berserks of the natural world. They don't fucking care. So they actually end up killing the boars too. Do you know that boar meat is absolutely fucking fantastic? It's so good. I haven't had it in close to a decade, which is a bit of a shame. Last time I had it, it was in Christmas. They had a special selection in the supermarkets. I'm assuming it was from hunting. There was a surplus of boars. It was somewhat cheap. It was already diced. Oh my god, one of the best meats I've ever ate. Oh, so good. So good. So full of energy. Is this necromancy? It could be necromancy. But this is just propaganda against the animal farms at the end of the day. Completely useless. I'm not going to eat the bugs. I'm not gonna eat the cancer bugs, okay? Fuck not. Fuck no. Disgusting. You will also see some people, but you eat the sea bags like shrimps and whatnot. No, I actually don't. Taste-wise, I don't care about those, but I'm gonna be honest. It's because mostly of pragmatism. Nowadays that I know more about those animals, I actually don't like them either. Because they feed themselves by cleaning shit. No. But if you go with, maybe not lobster, never had lobster. If you go with crab, shrimps and similar, you have to carve a lot to get some meat. And it's not that filling. It's a lot of work to not get full. So I'm like, okay, I think I just rather have a steak. Give me some pork, give me some beef, give me some chicken. Whatever. We're okay. That's fine. Delicious, easy to eat, easy to prepare, very filling. Cool. I don't mind eating fish. Some fish is actually really tasty. Swordfish I like, for example. And you're feeling the moment. And then 3 hours after eating, you might be like, oh, did I eat or not? I don't remember. Why I'm so hungry. But it's fine. That is fine. Get it if it's cheap. People like salmon. I'm okay with salmon. If we're going with tuna and whatnot, never had tuna by itself. I like canned tuna, but that's really different. Sushi though, toro and toro. Oh, they're really tasty. They're really good. That's the expensive shit I do live. Aside from, I don't remember how they call those in Japanese. The egg ones. I'm not even hungry. It's too early for me to have something to eat for sure. We have an Ashley Slap article here that I think is somewhat interesting. Scientists find woolly mammoth DNA by digging through squirrel waste. What the hell? Cool shit! Quite literally. Oh my god, funny wording on my part. Scientists have revealed that a variety of animal DNA, including the extinct woolly mammoth, has been found in frozen squirrel feces. The Arctic ground squirrels that were around thousands of years ago behave much like squirrels now. They were conscious for around 4 months a year and hibernated the rest. Holy shit, dude, I wish that was me. If only. While preparing for hibernation, squirrels fill their burrows with nuts, seeds, bones, fur, and multiple of other materials. Most of the animals, I don't know why. However, recent permafrost in some areas of the Yukon in Canada. Isn't this a Dragon Ball character? I think that's Yukon with an A. You heard that some birds were totally frozen and sealed off, creating what is essentially a prehistoric time capsule. Researchers penetrated these burrows and documented the findings. As detailed in the new study, scientists found ancient squirrel feces in the burrows, containing DNA estimated to be between 3,000 and 700,000 years old. That's a big swing. They found genetic material from a species of wolves, bison, horses, cheetahs, and plants. Cheetahs up there? I'm assuming related potentially to saber-toothed tigers, right? However, they also found the DNA of the long-extinct woolly mammoth. They then used the DNA to reconstruct 18 mitochondrial genomes, including 40 separate mammoths. We can get mammoths! I like mammoths. I think they're cool. They're also fucking big. I would eat a mammoth, if possible. Tyler Murchie, leader author of this study, said that although investigating a squirrel poop might sound less appealing, discovering a mammoth tusk, but said that feces is in fact a really effective way of learning about Earth's distant past. It actually gives you a lot of information about eating habits and what was nearby. So it kinda makes sense. The genetic data that researchers found is to be made publicly available. This means bioengineers like colossal laboratories, the US-based The Extinction Company, could use the data to help realize their ambition of bringing back the woolly mammoth. For more archaeological discoveries, check out our coverage of the oldest dog DNA that reveals 16,000 years old, 16,000 years of human companionship, or the Gold War bunker found beneath an old English castle. I guess it's kinda wild. How is that possible? I guess they just went below, maybe. That's kinda funny to me. Surely that will help. See, I like fossil stuff, I think it's pretty cool. And how about we end for today with something a bit odd but kinda funny that I found, I think it was late yesterday. A new paper in Evolutionary Human Sciences examines race memes on eggs, but doesn't reproduce the original memes, so these don't have to be exposed to racism. We're reading a paper about racism, the ethically modified memes. I'm sorry, text removed, but we need him for the football team. Ethically modified schematic reconstruction of a meme using the Soja character to ridicule progressive positions. Why people be like, gotta help the minorities, kill population by race. Ethically modified schematic reconstruction of a meme combining a world map with stylized demographic icons. USA and Africa. Ethically modified schematic reconstruction of a meme contrasting the technological history of the United States with the stereotyped image of an earthen dwelling used to symbolize Africa. Africa, just earthen dwelling, the USA, early flight, moon landing, digital innovation, social unrest, earthen dwelling, mud huts, okay? You can just say that. Ethically modified schematic reconstruction of a meme just opposing black and white female profiles. Detailed alterations that accentuate the contrast while preserving only general compositional features. Oh boy. And of course we have the original memes. Incredible. I'm sorry, your daughter was right by Return the Cannibal, but we need him for the football team. I guess this is about the UK. And people be like, gotta help the minorities. Majority. You don't even have the proper amount of races. Black, Asian, and brown people. Extremely disconnected. The deconstruction of a meme. I look into the future. Social unrest. Sure, whatever. And yeah, pretty weird looking stuff here. Very other stuff. Very other stuff. My goodness. It's the global humble version of these memes. Hilarity ensues for sure. My goodness, they cannot meme properly, but you have to admit that the ethically sourced soy jack is actually big. because it's just a very good representation of some of these extreme leftists. Nothing else going on, extremely bland. Correct opinion, bottom text. Very fucking funny. Anyway, I guess time for me to take my leave. My back is killing me. So, what's the plan for next week? Well, Monday is easy. We can play in Pokemon Diamond. That's an easy one. Hopefully we get at least the badges. That'd be good. That'd be good. I say that would be good. I speak a little bit fast and I usually a little bit, so I might sound more like a zoomer than I really am. Of course, that's not on purpose. Any relationship with reality, purely coincidental. I do believe that Wednesday is shaping for a great day to start Symphony of the Night. I was thinking Harmony of Dissonance, but I suddenly thought, you know what, no. It's not a horrible game. It is annoying. There are a couple of parts that are really annoying. You defeat Legion, and they defeat the other Legion, and then what do you do? I don't remember. Fuck! You have to get the Crusher Stone, I think, and break a very specific wall. I always forget that. It's very annoying. It will have to happen at some point, but I think we're gonna go with Classic Symphony of the Night. Might consider bringing an undubbed version, using the Japanese dub, because it's really fun. Dragon is voiced by Noria Wakamoto, one of my favorite voice actors for sure. He voices Cell in Dragon Ball, probably his biggest role. Fantastic. So fucking cool. We can compare the different translations for the first part. That'd be good. That would be good. And I guess on Thursday, I was planning for a little bit. Strange Mario Fun games, but I couldn't find one of them. I do remember distinctly when I was in elementary school, in some of the computers in the computer room, there was a very odd Super Mario installed, but I don't know what it is. I've been searching, some people have been mentioning Mario Flash, it was not that one. Some people mentioned something else, something like Mario Forever or something like that. It was not that one either. I do remember distinctly a big waterfall. We will probably eventually do something like that anyway, but not this upcoming week. So I guess we're gonna bite the bullet and do strange movie games. Most for the Game Boy because I had a bunch of those. The Mami games are actually legit, okay? They're actually fun to play. It's gonna be another relaxing Thursday, low octane and all that. And of course, Saturday more of the usual yapping. I will keep uploading some shorts here and there to the Clips channel if you're interested. And yeah, that's the plan thus far. As the plan thus far, everything's gonna be a little bit hands off this next month. But that's fine. That is fine. So yeah, thank you for coming. You had some fun. The schedule will be up tomorrow as usual. We're coming back on Monday with Pokemon Diamond. Until then, you know the rules. Do not fall for the lies. Do not fall for the propaganda. Do not eat the bugs. And when you see this very upsetting news from the UK, remember, they're trying to hide them because knowing about truth and reality is troublesome for them. So us knowing is always a good thing. And take care.